Chapter 306. At this time, Lin Rei's face was red, and the top of his head was emitting an exaggerated amount of steam. However, the aura around his body was slowly climbing. As I said, if I can't break through this time, I won't break through. Look at you, you're asking for a beating. Lin Rei looked inside and saw that the barrier of the late Earth immortal stage had begun to crack. However, the condensed immortal spiritual qi did not weaken at all. Instead, it was increasing little by little. As time passed, Lin Rei's immortal spiritual qi became more and more intense, and the aura around his body was also climbing to a high level. Break for me. With a roar, the immortal spiritual qi instantly broke through the cracked barrier of the late Earth immortal stage. Lin Rei's body trembled, and a majestic and strong immortal spiritual qi instantly rushed out of Lin Rei's body from the inside out. Not bad, I didn't expect you to break through to the late Earth immortal stage so quickly. The little dragon, who had been observing Lin Rei's actions, appeared above the space where Lin Rei was in seclusion after sensing the aura of the late Earth immortal stage. With a smile on his face, he looked at the system's successor that he had nurtured step by step. His heart was filled with pride. Of course, if Linley knew what he was thinking at this moment, he would definitely stand up and tell him that he was shameless, regardless of whether he was breaking through or not. Someone must have found the location of Hongming's supreme physique. However, as a friend, I have concealed your accurate information. Now, they only know which direction you are in. So, continue to work hard. Lin Rei did not hear the little dragon's words. If he did, there would be a scene of blood flowing in the space at this moment. Phew, this feeling is not bad. The peak of the Earth immortal stage is indeed the peak. If I were to face the Tai ape now, I probably wouldn't lose so miserably. After sensing the aura of a peak stage Earth immortal, Linley thought back to the battle he had had with the Tai ape 3 years ago. For a moment, Linley really wanted to go out and do battle with the Tai ape right now. Let's see if he would be able to win 3 years later. He opened his eyes and looked at the pitch-black system space. A bright light flashed in his eyes, and the aura of the peak of the Earth immortal realm was instantly withdrawn. Crack. 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 As Lin Rei stood up, the sound of bones cracking could be heard from his body. It was enough to make anyone who heard it shudder. Phew, this feels so King good. Lin Rei laughed as he felt the comfort of his body. Time passed quickly. After thousands of years of cultivation, Linley had no idea how long he had been in closed-door training. But he knew that he had been in closed-door training for a long time. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to break through to the peak of the earthly immortal realm. As he thought about this, Linley willed it, and the pitch-black scene in front of him suddenly began to change. In the next instant, Linley's figure appeared in the center of the Valley of Immortals. The fluctuation of an earthly immortal from Lin Rei's body made the tens of thousands of disciples who had been sitting here cultivating open their eyes instantly. They looked at the source of the fluctuation of energy with sharp eyes. Everyone was stunned when they saw the figure in the source of the fluctuation of energy. Then, they quickly gave up their cultivation, stood up, and kowtowed to Lin Rei with a plop. We disciples of the Xuanzong sect pay our respects to the sect leader. As soon as he spoke, his voice spread out from the center of the Valley of Immortals. In an instant, there were still demonic beasts playing around. Some of the demonic beasts that were fighting with all their might, but under the shock of the voice, they all stopped and quickly fled in all directions. It wasn't just the demonic beasts. Even the Tai ape and some people who were in seclusion in the caves gave up their cultivation decisively when they heard that Lin Rei had come out of seclusion. They came out of seclusion and instantly came to where Lin Rei was. At this moment, Lin Rei stood straight in the center of the Valley of Immortals. His long black hair fluttered in the wind, and his long robe moved without wind. His eyes were full of contempt for everything, which made people tremble. Lin Rei, you finally came out of seclusion. A hearty laugh rang out from behind them. As for Linley, as soon as he heard this voice, he began to laugh. because only the Tai ape would dare to speak in such a manner in front of Linley. Turning around, he looked at Tai Yuan and the others, who were walking towards him. Smiling, Linley smiled at them, then turned around and looked at the tens of thousands of disciples still kneeling on the ground as he spoke. All of you, stand up. Yes, we will obey the decree. Swoosh. The moment he finished speaking, the tens of thousands of disciples stood up in an orderly manner. They didn't say a word and just stood there. After Lin Rei's words 3 years ago, they never made such a low-level mistake again. Not bad. Looking at the neat formation in front of him, just like the army on planet Aqua Blue, Lin Rei felt very gratified. He closed his eyes and didn't say a word. He released his divine sense in an instant and wrapped it around the tens of thousands of disciples. He began to check their cultivation. What? At this moment, it was as though Lin Rei had just discovered a new era. His heart was filled with shock as he looked at them. Looking at these disciples whom he hadn't seen for 3 years, he was so emotional that he didn't know what to say. It turned out that the moment Lin Rei checked their cultivation bases, Lin Rei realized that they were all Earth Immortals. In fact, some of them had even reached Earth Immortal middle stage. This was something that Lin Rei had never thought of, nor did he dare to think of. He had always thought that those words 3 years ago were just a joke, and he had never taken them seriously. But today, 3 years later, Lin Rei had really thought that they would do it. Ha ha ha. Good. With disciples like these, how can our Xuanzong sect not have to worry about growing stronger? Ha ha ha. Tai Ape and the other people behind him and the tens of thousands of disciples understood Lin Rei's feelings when they saw his actions. Hee hee. Alright, there are so many people watching. Aren't you afraid of embarrassing yourself? Looking at how brazen Jean Meng was laughing without any regard for his image as the master of a sect, Tai Ape couldn't hold it in any longer and hurried forward to dissuade him. Hearing Tai Ape's words, Lin Rei snapped back to reality and tidied up his robes, trying his best to calm down. Cough, cough. You've done well. Ahem, well, you've done well. I've seen your efforts and hard work. I'm proud of you for your current achievements, but this is far from enough. You should know that your current strength is only at the bottom of the immortal realm. What we need to do is to become the overlord of the immortal realm. We need to see the scene of thousands of sects coming to pay homage to us. Lin Rei's words had everyone below stunned. That was because Lin Rei's thoughts were something that none of them had ever thought of before. All they knew was that raising their cultivation states and being loyal to the sect was what they had to do. Chapter 307. Well, for your efforts, I will reward you accordingly. As long as you break through to the earthly immortal realm, each of you will be rewarded with a bottle of heaven-grade elixir, no matter what kind of elixir it is. As for those who break through to the middle stage of earthly immortal realm, you will get 3 bottles of heaven-grade elixir and a heaven-grade formation map. The formation map can be activated as long as you inject immortal spiritual chi into it. Heaven-grade formations can at least trap celestial immortals, but it can only control them. Wow. The moment Lin Rei finished speaking, the ordinary disciples below, the elders behind him, and Tai Yuan were all stunned. What did he mean by trapping a celestial immortal realm cultivator and not killing him? Trapping a celestial immortal realm cultivator was already very powerful. Although Lin Rei was prepared for their reaction, he was still frightened by it. Lin Rei, you've underestimated yourself. I didn't see you use the formation map before. If you had used it earlier, maybe I wouldn't have won. At this moment, Tai Yuan remembered that Lin Rei didn't use the formation map when he fought with him. Therefore, Tai Yuan's fighting spirit burst out instantly. He wanted to fight with Lin Rei. Tai Yuan's actions caused Linley to be startled. And then, he hurriedly moved backwards, a smile on his face as he spoke to Tai Yuan. Well, Tai Yuan, this matter needs to be discussed at length. The main reason I came out of seclusion this time is to be able to seek a breakthrough through experience, battles, and opportunities. Therefore, I'll leave after giving them some instructions. It wasn't that Lin Rei didn't want to fight with a celestial immortal realm cultivator. What he said before was the truth. After this matter was over, he would leave the endless mountains and go to the boundless immortal realm to see what it was like and seek a breakthrough. Moreover, Lin Rei came out of seclusion for the most important thing, which was the future development of his tens of thousands of disciples. Thus, there was nothing Lin Li could do about Tai Yuan's request. Thus, he couldn't agree. You're leaving? Upon hearing Lin Rei's intentions, Tai Yuan reluctantly asked. Tai Yuan had never considered the possibility of Lin Rei leaving. He thought that since this place had everything, there was no need for Lin Rei to leave. But now, reality proved that he was wrong. Yes. These simple words were enough to express a lot of emotions that Lin Rei didn't say. Tai Yuan knew what Lin Rei meant. But don't worry, I'll cultivate diligently after we get out of here. When I break through to the Emperor level, I'll come back and help you transform. Then, you can accompany me to explore this dangerous immortal world. Lin Li was very curious about the matter of transfiguration. Logically speaking, Mahayana stage monsters should be able to transfigure into human form after eating a transfiguration pill. But this was looking down on celestial immortals, who were still unable to transfigure and could only speak. Therefore, when Lin Rei became friends with the Tai ape, it was a big deal. Later, when his alchemy realm increased, he would help the Tai ape transform into a human. Yes. I got it. You can go. Although there are no ifs in the outside world, I always listen to what they say. The outside world is a place that eats people without spitting out the bones. After you get out, you have to be careful. I'll wait for you to come back in the endless world. The words, wait for you to come back, contained a lot. When Lin Rei heard Tai Yuan's words, his eyes unconsciously became misty. Haha. Look at you. After feeling the strangeness in his eyes, Lin Rei quickly controlled his emotions and tried his best not to let his tears fall. However, at this moment, the memories of the past few years where he had lived with the Tai ape kept resurfacing in his mind. Although the Tai ape was a monster beast, when he had no time to break through, the Tai ape would always bring him food. When he fought, the Tai ape would always watch from the side, as if it was afraid that he would be hurt. It would always take care of him in every possible way. Therefore, at this moment, Lin Rei's feelings for Tai Yuan had long surpassed a normal friendship. At this moment, Tai Yuan was like a family member. Seeing his family member about to leave him, he felt reluctant and sad. All right. When he saw Tai Yuan's appearance, Lin Rei quickly turned his back to Tai Yuan. He quickly shifted his emotions and looked at the tens of thousands of disciples. All of you, your mission this time is to disperse and go anonymously to the various large sects to cultivate. I'll give you 100 years. No matter how far you've broken through in 100 years, remember, you only have 100 years. Also, when you're cultivating in the other sects, do not tell anyone about the Xuanzong sect, whether it's your lover or anyone else. If I find out that you've broken the rules I set, I don't need to say much about the consequences. When the mission was announced, everyone was surprised. However, as disciples, how could they refuse Lin Rei's mission? We will follow the sect master's orders. We will not overdraft any information about the sect to anyone. After 100 years, we will definitely succeed in our cultivation and repay the sect. Seeing the tens of thousands of disciples nodding their heads, Lin Rei smiled slightly. He turned to Bing, Ming, and the others behind him and said seriously, this time, you all have to participate. This time, all of you have to participate as well. However, this time, the mission I'm giving you is to bring some people to the east, west, south, and central. Use all of your life's efforts to establish a sect that belongs to you. This. After hearing Lin Rei's mission, Bing, Ming and the others were stunned for a moment. They were full of doubts and asked Jin Yang again, young master, is what you said true? Ming's words happened to be what the others wanted to ask. When Ming's words came out, everyone's eyes were fixed on Lin Ray. They were full of expectations for what he would say next. Yes, you didn't hear wrong. I want you to go to these 5 places and use your own abilities to establish your own sections. Similarly, I'll give you 100 years. In 100 years, I want to hear the name of your sects in the entire immortal realm. Of course, that includes your names. However, in an instant, the people who thought Lin Ray's words were overheard. When they heard Lin Ray's words, their eyes were fixed on Lin Ray again. They were full of curiosity as they waited for his next words. Young man, you don't have to establish a sect. What? That's too good. Lin Li's words made everyone suspicious, including the manager's younger brother. He didn't understand what Lin Li was trying to say. You don't have to establish a sect. However, my request is that you have to rebuild Jiutian Trading Company. I believe that you have the ability to do so. Tisk. At this moment, they all took a step back. If they had known that establishing a sect was just a matter of strength and prestige, it would have been better. However, establishing a trading company was different. It required brains, and at the same time, courage, wisdom, and calculation at the same time. They asked themselves, except for the young man, no one else in the group could accomplish this task. The others were depressed, but the young man was different. When he learned that his task was to rebuild Jiutian Trading Company, he smiled happily. Okay, I agree. Hearing their response, Lin Li nodded. He took out 10 or so storage rings and handed them over to them as he spoke calmly to them. These are the starting funds for you. I believe that with them, you will be able to complete your mission much faster. At the same time, there are many heaven-grade elixirs and a peak heaven-grade array diagram for each of you. They can be used to set up your sect protection array when you choose a sect. There are also some things that can be used to contact me. Chapter 308. Hearing Lin Ray's words, Bing and the others came in front of Lin Ray one by one. They took a storage ring, dripped their blood on it, and made it their own storage ring. Seeing that they had all taken away the things, Lin Ray was relieved. If these things were not given to them today, let alone the sect, it would be good if they could come back after 100 years. Well, you have all taken the things. After you go out, remember, we are not people who look for trouble, but we are not people who are afraid of trouble either. The outside world is not like here. The people outside are not much kinder than the monsters. After you go out, other than being able to trust yourself and your companions in the Xuanzong sect, don't trust anyone else, no matter who they are. For these newbies who had never experienced the outside world, Lin Ray had to remind them. He didn't want to go out with more than a dozen people and come back with only 2 or 3 left. This was not the result he wanted. Yes, master, young master, sect leader, second brother, big brother, especially you guys. You haven't experienced such a world where the strong are respected. This is not a society ruled by law like ours. Here, unless you have the strength, you are nothing here. Therefore, don't act rashly here. At this moment, Lin Ray was very relieved about them. Of course, except for the new members, Wang Hong, Su Bo, and Murong Yu, they all lived in a peaceful era. So, for this kind of world where the strong were respected, they were still very uncomfortable. Moreover, they had been here for 3 years. Other than cultivation, they were still cultivating. They had no chance to go out and experience the world. So, Lin Ray was still quite worried about them. Second brother, just treat it as 120 heart. We are not stupid. At this time, the most unreliable of the 3, Su Bo, came out and said to Lin Ray. Listening to his tone, he seemed to be very eager to go out and see the outside world. All right. Since you're so determined, I won't say anything more. You have a communication jade slip with you. It can call the nearest Xuanzong sect disciple. However, the number of times you can use it is limited. Cherish the number of times you can use it. Finally, the warning was over. Lin Rei turned around and looked at the tens of thousands of disciples in front of him. He couldn't help but feel excited. To be honest, it wasn't just Su Bo and the others who longed for the outside of the immortal world. Even Lin Rei wasn't surprised. When he came to the immortal world, he wanted to go out and see what the immortal world was like. His dream was about to come true, so he was very anxious. Alright, since you know your mission, then do your best. I hope that after 100 years, you will be able to break through your limits and return here. Yes, we will definitely return in 100 years. After everything was settled, Lin Rei took the lead and excitedly walked out of the endless mountain range. The tens of thousands of disciples followed closely behind him like a dragon. They were like Lin Rei. Before Lin Rei left, he put away the cloud pagoda and the cosmos bell. They were very important to Lin Rei. They were necessary even if there was no hope. Along the way, Lin Li once again gave his disciples, brothers, and son a few words of advice. Little you. Your personality is the most lively and eccentric. When you go out, I won't be there to protect you. So, don't throw a tantrum. When you encounter something, calm down and think of a solution. And all of you, be careful when you're outside. Don't be too wild. Remember, after 100 years, all of you have to come back and let me test your cultivation. If you don't meet my expectations, then I won't be willing. Looking at the children that he had watched grow up, they were all orphans that Lin Rei had taken in and raised. Of course, other than Cullen and estranged. When it was time to leave, Lin Rei was very reluctant and sad. Of course, he was most worried about their safety. Woo-woo, right now, Lin Wanyu and the others, upon hearing Lin Li's demonic words, instantly began to cry. Their crying was a complete mess. His entire body was covered in tears, and he couldn't stop it no matter how hard he tried. Alright, how old are you now? Don't cry. As long as you all come back safely, that is Master's greatest wish. Just like that, they chatted as they arrived at the exit of the endless mountains. At the exit, Lin Li stared at the boundless immortal realm, filled with the desire to do battle. Alright, you all can go. Cultivate well, and pay attention to your own safety. Turning around, he said a few words to the people behind him, then left. Before leaving, Lin Li said goodbye to the Tai ape, and then, without looking back, he flew off into the air. Only when he had disappeared from their sight did they regain their senses. Whoosh whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the blink of an eye, the tens of thousands of disciples, after Lin Li's back had completely disappeared, quickly left the exit of the Skyend Mountains. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of people had disappeared from this place. The only people left behind were the disciples and friends that he had spent 3 years with. Tai Yuan, who couldn't go with them, wept inwardly. Lin Rei, wait for me. In 100 years, I will do my best to improve my strength. I hope that when you come back in 100 years, you won't forget about me. With that, Tai Yuan withdrew his reluctant gaze, then turned around and walked into the depths of the endless mountain range. The tens of thousands of disciples of the Xuanzong Sect, including sect leader Lin Rei, left the endless mountain range. They felt like fish in the sea, flying freely in the sky. Although it was still very difficult for an earthly immortal to fly, Lin Rei still felt great flying. After leaving the endless mountain range, Lin Rei headed east. Along the way, he met some people with high cultivation. However, they all looked at Lin Rei with disdain. It was as if people with cultivation like Lin Rei were not worthy of their attention. The immortal realm was a very vast world. It had been more than a month since Lin Rei left the endless mountain range. However, after flying for so long, Lin Rei didn't see a single village, town. Of course, Lin Rei still enjoyed the journey. After all, the scenery was not for show. Along the way, Lin Rei saw all kinds of scenery, such as cliffs and streams, rivers flowing backwards, and beautiful mountains and clear waters. However, at this moment, Lin Rei only wanted to find someone to ask. How much further did it take to reach a town? Sigh. The immortal realm is too big. If I flew like this before, I wouldn't even know how many aquamarine planets I've flown over, let alone one. Why is this still the wilderness? Originally, Lin Ray thought that entering the immortal realm for the first time would give him a different feeling. Now, he really felt that the bigger the place, the more uncomfortable it was. Chapter 309. There was no one along the way. Lin Ray had no choice. Since he had been flying for so long, he couldn't say that he would stop now and then go back here. Just like that, Linley continued to fly for 3 more days. Heaven does not disappoint those who persevere. Finally, on the evening of the 3rd day, the silhouette of an enormous city appeared in front of Linley's eyes. Staring at the blurry outline of the city, Linley slowly flew towards it. However, a short while later, Linley discovered that the closer he got to the city, the more he sensed a formless pressure. It was almost invisible. Although the pressure was minuscule, Linley, who had dual heaven-level alchemy arrays, was still able to sense it. Originally, Lin Ray thought that it was nothing. Maybe it was just a coincidence, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Suddenly, when he flew forward for about 30 meters, a horrible pressure instantly pressed down on Lin Ray. Boom! In an instant, Lin Ray, who was not flying steadily in the immortal realm, accidentally lost his balance and fell from the sky when the pressure came. Lin Ray was helpless in this situation. At the same time, he was powerless. He didn't know if this situation would happen to others. Anyway, he was already like this now. Falling from the sky at a very fast speed, Lin Ray, who was about to land more than 10 meters from the ground, suddenly burst out the cultivation of the earth immortal realm in his body and stopped his falling body in an instant. Cold sweat inadvertently overflowed from his forehead. Although he was confident in his physical body, he couldn't help but be a little panicked by the sudden situation just now. Phew. Damn, luckily I controlled it in time, otherwise, TSK. The slightly panicked Lin Ray, in order to prevent any accidents from happening, immediately landed on the ground and didn't dare to fly forward anymore. At this moment, Lin Ray was very unhappy. Originally, he was flying well, but this sudden situation made him so embarrassed. No one would be willing to let it go. Immediately, he stood in place and closed his eyes. The moment he closed his eyes, his divine sense was released. The spiritual power of the peak of the heaven stage and the divine sense of the earthly immortal realm instantly arrived at the spot where the accident happened. With that as the center, they began to explore the surroundings. The first thing that entered his eyes was the might and pressure of dissatisfaction in the sky. Following up on these clues, Lin Ray's spiritual sense slowly probed the area where the might and pressure were denser. The closer he got to the place where the pressure was denser, the more shocked Lin Ray became. When his divine sense arrived in front of a huge and majestic ancient city, Lin Ray discovered that the pressure was coming from the walls of the ancient city. For a moment, Lin Ray was both surprised and delighted. Ha ha ha. Ah. Suddenly, there was a burst of laughter. Lin Ray's consciousness was instantly sent back into Lin Ray's body. Trembling, Lin Ray, who had returned to his body, opened his eyes instantly. Shock and fear flashed in Lin Ray's eyes. What's going on? What was that just now? At this moment, when he recalled the voice that had sent him flying, Lin Ray still felt terrified. He even felt that there was a pair of eyes around him that had been watching him. Swish. Hearing the strange sound, Lin Ray raised his head. Suddenly, a figure flew directly over his head. What happened to him just now did not happen to this passerby. Seeing this, Lin Ray was full of doubts and curiosity at the same time. Alas. Forget it, I don't want to think about it. Anyway, I have to enter the city. It's not too late to talk about it after entering the city. Following his heart, Lin Ray lifted his feet and walked slowly toward the city not far away. He really wanted to fly away, but at least in that kind of situation, Lin Ray did not want to have a second time in his life. Lin Rei's actions made the people who were flying in the air feel puzzled. They were quite naive. Why would someone foolishly walk on foot? However, they were just curious. There was nothing else. Anyway, it had nothing to do with them. Walking on foot was neither near nor far. Lin Rei walked for a full 2 hours before he arrived in front of the city with difficulty. Phew. I'm finally here. After arriving in front of the city, Lin Rei took a deep breath and raised his head. What entered his eyes was a feeling of grandeur that made Lin Rei feel. When you first saw this ancient city, the words simple, grand, and magnificent, and grand would appear in your mind. At the same time, the word not simple would also appear. However, at the same time, this city looked like it had not been refurbished for a long time. The city walls were full of potholes and looked very tattered. However, in Lin Rei's heart, this city was not simple at all. It was able to emit such a huge pressure and was able to stand here. Lin Rei believed that there was a story behind it. After regaining his senses from the grandeur of the city, Lin Rei slowly walked toward the city's interior. However, just as he reached the entrance, he was stopped by the 2 guards on the city gate tower. Hey, little brother, this is your first time here. Lin Rei, who had met them once in the mysterious Sky Continent, thought that these 2 would be the same as the one in the mysterious Sky Continent. In the end, Lin Rei was wrong. A gentle and caring voice entered Lin Rei's ears. Yes, what's the matter? Hearing the guard's words, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. After regaining his senses, he quickly responded to the 2 guards. Then, little brother, you have to be careful. These 2 days, Jingxing City has not been peaceful, so it's best if you don't cause trouble at this time, understand? Listening to the words of the 2 unfamiliar guards, Lin Rei nodded to show that he understood. It seemed that he was not shocked by what they said at all. However, what they didn't know was that if Linley were to tell them what he had sensed on the walls of this ancient city, it would definitely be even more shocking than what they had just said. Okay. This is your waste token. Remember our words, with your cultivation, it is simply like living on the tip of a knife. So, only people who always have a waste token can buy a house in the city. Listening to their words, Lin Rei did not even think about it. He took the waste token and let me say goodbye to them. Then, he stepped into the inner part of Jingxing City. Sigh. Young people nowadays are so impatient. I hope he can remember what we just said, otherwise, I'm afraid. Having said that, the guard did not continue. On the other hand, when the guard on the other side saw that his companion was worried about a stranger, his face instantly showed a helpless expression. You don't have to worry about them. Whether they are safe or not, that is their good fortune. Every day, a few people who enter Jingxing City will die. So, there's no need for you to worry about someone you don't know. Who knows, he might become a corpse tomorrow. Chapter 310. At this moment, Lin Rei was deeply aware of the saying, "You can't judge a book by its cover." Originally, he had thought that there would not be many people in such a dilapidated ancient city. However, the moment Lin Rei entered the city, he no longer thought so. It was just a simple step into the city, but the difference was earth-shattering. The outside of the city was desolate, but the inside of the city was bustling with life. In the city, it was very prosperous. There were all kinds of stalls hawking their wares. At first glance, they were all here to buy things. He walked into the city curiously and looked at the things on the stalls. He did not recognize any of them. However, the things being hawked all had some celestial spiritual chi. Elixirs, formation talismans, weapons, and even some rare spiritual herbs that were not common in the mortal world could be found here. Along the way, Lin Rei saw all the prosperity of the capital city. He was very curious. He was curious about the ancient city and the people inside. At this time, Lin Rei was deeply attracted by everything here. Little brother, look at this thing. It was unearthed from the tomb of the immortal emperor. I heard that it has the effect of helping the owner to improve his cultivation. Look at this thing. Suddenly, a hand reached out from the side and stopped Lin Ray, who was walking forward. The sudden situation stunned Lin Ray for a moment. Why do I feel that the stall owner's cultivation is higher than mine? It turned out that the moment the stall owner's hand touched Lin Ray felt his cultivation from the injury. What shocked Lin Ray was that the stall owner's cultivation was at the early stage of the fairy immortal realm. Feeling this, Lin Ray was embarrassed. Little brother, look at this thing again. It's amazing. This elixir is called the daily average elixir. As long as you eat it, you can break through the earthly immortal realm and reach the fairy immortal realm. There is only one of it in this shop. Don't miss it. Just when Lin Ray heard the words little brother and felt embarrassed, the stall owner took out a pill and started to boast about it. It would have been fine if the person being pulled was an ordinary cultivator, but the person he pulled was Lin Ray, who was a heaven-grade alchemist. He still knew about alchemy. Lin Ray couldn't help but sneer as he watched the stall owner obtain the medicinal pills in his hands. What's wrong? Don't tell me you think I'm lying. Why don't you feel the immortal spiritual energy inside it? As he spoke, the stall owner shoved the pill in his hand in front of Lin Ray, wanting him to check the remaining immortal spiritual energy within. He even put on an expression that said, "If you don't believe me, you can smell it." Instantly, Lin Ray felt awkward. If he was going to expose it. After all, Lin Ray was a celestial immortal expert. If he didn't expose the fact that he was forcing him to buy something, then Lin Ray would really be in a dilemma. Yo, madman, you're lying again. The sudden voice broke the awkward silence. At this moment, Linley was silently thanking the person who had spoken up in the nick of time. Little brother, don't listen to his nonsense. Although the medicinal pills in his hands are effective, the immortal spiritual energy and medicinal properties in his pills have already dissipated. There's only a small amount of immortal spiritual energy left. Therefore, when you meet someone you don't know, you'll buy it as soon as you hear the effects. Pfft. Hearing the words of the person who exposed him, Lin Ray instantly burst out laughing. Lin Ray didn't deny the situation of the medicinal pills. He even agreed that it was so. However, when he heard what the stall owner said next, Lin Ray couldn't hold it in anymore. Little brother, his medicinal pills are like this, but mine are all real. If it's fake, I'll compensate you tenfold. Why don't you take a look? Hearing their words, Lin Ray helplessly pulled his hand out of the stall owner's hand and hurriedly rejected their request. I'm sorry. I don't want to buy any medicinal pills. Besides, I'm an alchemist. Wouldn't it be ridiculous to let an alchemist buy medicinal pills? He had no choice. If he couldn't defend them, he could only reveal his identity as an alchemist. Only in this way could he escape from both sides and even escape unscathed. Sure enough, the moment the two people heard that he was an alchemist, their bodies instinctively took 2 steps back. Their faces were full of fear. I'm sorry, sir. We shouldn't have shown off in front of you like this. Sir, take a look at what I have here. If you can use it, please take it. I only ask that you don't blame us for what happened today. Plop. The two people who had just bought the medicinal pills quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Ray, begging for forgiveness. The sudden situation caught Lin Ray off guard. The people in front of him were all people with higher cultivation than him. Lin Ray was very puzzled. He didn't understand why they were acting like this. You guys, quickly get up. I won't speak of anything that happened today. As he spoke, Linley hurriedly stepped forward and helped the people who were kneeling on the ground up. He then made a promise to them. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The two people who had just stood up were no longer pulling him like before. At this moment, they were looking at Lin Ray with a respectful expression. Their attitude was also very respectful. The surrounding people also saw the situation just now. However, they only glanced at it and didn't pay much attention to it. Therefore, they didn't pay too much attention to it. Oh, right. Is there a big trading company or a place where I can buy a map? Seeing their appearance, Lin Rei quickly asked them what he wanted to know. Although they were just stall owners, Lin Rei believed that they would know something. Ah. If Milord wants to buy something, it won't belong to our crystal clear water pavilion. In the crystal clear water pavilion, there are only things that Milord can't think of and nothing that Milord can't buy. It can be said that we have everything that Milord wants to buy there. Yes, the crystal clear water pavilion. Sir, you should be able to find the things you want to buy there. After obtaining some useful information, Lin Rei's mouth slightly curled up into a smile. Then, he turned around and left. Before leaving, he didn't forget to thank them. Thanks. After speaking, Lin Li didn't even look back as he walked towards the center of the city. Along the way, he didn't stop at all. Even if he encountered any more hawkers, Lin Li would hurriedly leave. It wasn't good for him to stay here. This was because Lin Li could sense that the lowest level of cultivation here was at the peak of the Earth Immortal Realm. Thus, it was best for Lin Li to avoid offending them as much as possible. Along the way, he discovered that the city wasn't just big. In fact, it was extremely big. Lin Rei walked from the stall to the crystal clear water pavilion. It took him more than an hour to reach the crystal clear water pavilion. Chapter 311. Raising his head, Lin Rei saw 3 big blue words engraved on the signboard of the crystal clear water pavilion above his head. He could faintly feel a bit of pressure coming from the 3 big words. 2 guards were standing at the entrance with solemn expressions and looking at each other. Lin Rei had seen a lot of things that had shocked him today, but he had to admit that the 2 Heaven Immortal Realm cultivators were actually guarding the entrance of a business. For a moment, Lin Rei felt as if he had been struck by a blow. The whole crystal clear water pavilion was luxuriously decorated and looked very noble. Just the signboard above its head alone was worth a lot. Coupled with the guards at the entrance, one could tell at a glance that the background of the crystal clear water pavilion was very powerful. Lin Rei believed that they had the information and the things he wanted to know about this place. Without wasting any time, Lin Rei found the smaller crystal clear water pavilion and headed inside. But right at this time, he was stopped by the 2 guards at the entrance. Who are you? Do you have an invitation card from my crystal clear water pavilion? A single sentence, and Lin Li's mind went blank. An invitation? What the hell? Lin Rei had never been here before, so how could he possibly know about it? I don't have one. Then I'm sorry, but you can't enter without an invitation card. Furthermore, look at your tattered clothes. How can you enter my crystal clear water pavilion? At this time, the 2 guards stopped Lin Rei. The disdainful look in their eyes made Lin Rei feel very unhappy. In the blink of an eye, anger surged in his heart. If it was before, he might not have been able to fight against a Heaven Immortal Realm expert. But after 3 years of secluded cultivation, fighting against a Heaven Immortal Realm expert was a piece of cake for him. After hearing the words of the guards, Lin Rei knew that they were looking down on him. He couldn't spoil this kind of person, and he couldn't be cowardly either. Otherwise, the other party would become even more unscrupulous. In the blink of an eye, the martial emperor godly spear appeared in his hand, and a baleful aura burst out from the spear and rushed toward the 2 guards. Boom! Lin Rei was quite confident in his murderous aura. In terms of murderous aura, Lin Rei believed that the 2 of them were nothing. His killing intent locked onto the 2 guards. In an instant, the 2 guards felt the temperature around them drop. In response to this phenomenon, the 2 guards couldn't help but cast their gazes towards the spear-wielding youth in front of them. You. What? Do you want to fight in my crystal clear water pavilion? You are just a peak earth immortal, yet you dare to act all high and mighty in front of me, a heaven immortal? Are you courting death? The 2 guards were both shocked and amused. After all, although there was only a fine line between a celestial immortal and an earthly immortal, the gap between them was extremely large. Therefore, in their eyes, Lin Ray's performance was the rhythm of courting death. If I didn't ask you, you would know. At this time, Lin Ray was already prepared to kill them and leave immediately. However, life was bound to change sometimes. Just as Lin Ray was about to make his move, a melodious voice that resembled the cry of an oriole entered his ears. "Young master, may I know if the guards of my crystal-clear water pavilion have offended you in some way? Why would I trouble you to teach them a lesson?" Her words immediately attracted the attention of everyone present. It was a woman who had appeared at the entrance of the crystal-clear water pavilion. Her skin was like jade, and her facial features were also very delicate. As for her voice, it was needless to say. Lin Ray had already experienced it a moment ago. As for her figure, it was simply a beauty capable of causing the downfall of a city. I intended to come to your crystal-clear water pavilion to do business. But I didn't expect that a puny guard would look down on me like a dog and judge a person just by looking at their clothes. Today, I've finally seen the threshold of the crystal-clear water pavilion. It's really high. Lin Ray didn't care whether the opposite party was a beauty or not. As long as they provoked him, let alone a beauty, Lin Ray wouldn't care about such things and would treat them the same as before. What? After hearing Lin Ray's words, the woman's complexion suddenly changed. She looked at the two guards at the entrance with an unkind expression and asked them with an ice-cold tone. "Is this young master speaking the truth?" After seeing the woman's expression, Lin Ray knew that he had misunderstood her. Thinking back to his previous tone, he couldn't help but feel somewhat embarrassed. "Why yes, young miss." After hearing the woman's words, the bodies of the two guards started to tremble violently. It seemed as though they were very afraid of the woman before their eyes. The situation was getting more and more intense. The fear in their eyes couldn't be acted out no matter how hard they tried. But at this time, the fear in the eyes of the two guards couldn't be acted out. Lin Ray also found this scene very strange. Even if the woman before him was the young miss of the crystal-clear water pavilion, there was no need for them to be so afraid just because she said a few words. For a moment, Lin Ray started to take a liking to the woman before him. I'm afraid that you will be disappointed by the rules of the crystal-clear water pavilion. After you return, go to the Hall of Penal Law to receive your punishment. Afterward, copy the rules of the crystal-clear water pavilion 1,000 times until you're done. Yes, young miss. As soon as the woman said those words, the two guards changed positions and headed toward the interior of the crystal-clear water pavilion. Before long, the two new guards arrived at the entrance and stood in the same place as the two guards who had just left. Stand guard properly. According to the rules of the crystal-clear water pavilion, regardless of the other party's status, as long as they come to our door, it's fine. If you can't even do this well, you can forget about working in the crystal-clear water pavilion. Looking at the two new guards, the woman warned them in advance with a slightly cold expression in order to prevent the previous incident from happening again. Yes, we will obey young Mrs. words. Very clearly, the two new guards were much stronger than the previous ones. They only knew how to recognize each other. Young master, the previous matter was the fault of our crystal-clear water pavilion. In a while, if you want anything, you can do whatever you want. Today, I'll give you a 20% discount. What do you think? Finally, after dealing with her family matters, she thought of Lin Ray and decided to give Lin Ray a 20% discount to compensate for her previous mistake. All right. After hearing the woman's words, Lin Ray quickly put away the martial emperor godly spear and followed the woman into the interior of the crystal-clear water pavilion. Lin Ray didn't care about this small interlude. After following the woman into the interior and seeing the exquisite decorations, he couldn't help but laugh inwardly. Those two guards are done for this time. It was their mistake, but it was also the mistake of the crystal-clear water pavilion. Of course, how could Lin Ray show such thoughts on his face? Although he thought so inwardly, his face remained expressionless from beginning to end. "Young master, may I know what you want to buy from our crystal clear water pavilion? Although this is a branch of the crystal clear water pavilion, if the thing you want isn't available here, we can quickly search for it from the headquarters or other places." In the central hall of the crystal clear water pavilion, the woman stopped in her tracks and turned around to ask Lin Ray about his purpose in coming here as well as the capabilities of the crystal clear water pavilion. Chapter 312. Oh, the purpose of my visit this time is to buy some information about the immortal realm and a map of the immortal realm. Hearing the woman's words, Linley hurriedly stated his request. Oh. Good. However, there is no map of the immortal realm here. Even if you are in other businesses, I believe there is no map of the immortal realm. Hearing Linley's words, the woman apologetically explained to Linley what had happened. Thanking her was a difficult thing for Linley as well. "Oh, young master, please don't misunderstand. I'm not deliberately making things difficult for you. It's just that the immortal world is vast and no one knows how big it is. However, if young master wants a map, I can give you a simple map of the western region." "Oh, I see." After listening to the woman's explanation, Lin Ray realized that the immortal realm could not be spread out. Even a map could not be drawn. Of course. Hearing this, Lin Ray was even more curious. "Oh, it's okay. Then give me a map of the western regions and all kinds of information about the immortal realm." The woman was very satisfied with the customer's request. When she heard Lin Ray's request, she quickly told the servant behind her about Lin Ray's request and asked him to prepare it. "Young master, please wait a moment. I've already ordered someone to get the things you want." As she spoke, the woman guided Linley to a nearby chair, indicating for him to sit down and wait for the person who had gone to retrieve the item to come. The two of them sat there quietly and did not say a word. The atmosphere was quite tense. The woman next to them was also very helpless. Finally, the woman could not help but speak first. "Young master, how long do you plan to stay in the ancient capital?" At the same time, Lin Ray, who also felt the tense atmosphere, heard the woman speak first. As a man, there was nothing to hide. He said casually, "I don't know yet. If it's fun here, I'll stay for a few more days. Of course, I just came to the immortal realm and don't know, so." No wonder young master wants to buy something about the immortal realm. It turns out that young master has just arrived in the immortal realm. Hearing Lin Ray's words, the woman finally understood why the man in front of her was so out of tune with the matters of the immortal world. It turned out that he had just ascended to the immortal world. However, if the woman knew that Lin Ray did not ascend, but was teleported, what would her expression be? Of course, there was no need for Lin Ray to tell her such things. Just as they were talking, the person who went to retrieve the items came back with 2 jade slips in his hand. There was nothing else. Of course, Lin Ray had used this kind of jade slip to store things before, so he took the thing in the servant's hand with ease. He took out a jade slip, placed it on his forehead, and absorbed the contents inside. As the saying goes, if you don't see it, you won't know. The immortal world was divided into 5 divisions, just like profound heaven. However, the difference was that the 5 divisions weren't controlled by an empire, but by 5 immortal venerables, and only 5 immortal venerables. According to the law of the immortal world, only 5 immortal venerables could be born in the immortal world. However, there could be many immortal emperors. Therefore, only 5 immortal venerables could be in charge of the 5 divisions. The distribution of the immortal realm was even more special. The 5 immortal sovereigns, followed by the 5 great empires, and the 5 great immortal sects. Below them were various small sects and clans. There was no limit to their numbers. It was divided into 5 areas: east, west, south, north, and center. Each area had an immortal venerable. They were Immortal Venerable Hao Chen in the east, Immortal Venerable Reincarnation in the west, Immortal Venerable Dominating Heaven in the south, Immortal Venerable Ao Tian in the north, and immortal venerable Qian Kun in the center. The 5 great sects of the immortal world: Karakoram Immortal Sect, Qiankuan Sect, Shocking Heaven Sect, Sword Sect, and Myriad Treasures Immortal Sect. The 5 great empires of the immortal realm: Jing Tian Empire, Kueishui Empire, Jiama Empire, Elf Empire, and Tian Tu Empire. Whether it was an immortal sect or an empire, there was one or more immortal emperors in charge. No one knew the exact number. Seeing this, Lin Rei was even more eager to improve his strength. Not for himself, but for his sect. Lin Rei wanted to improve his cultivation as soon as possible so that he wouldn't be bullied by others. He wanted his sect to appear in the world and be worshipped by thousands of sects. Looking at this, Lin Rei was shocked. He didn't expect the distribution of the immortal world to be so complicated. Moreover, there were various races and sects competing and killing. Basically, there were sects falling every day, but at the same time, there were also sects being revived or founded. When he continued to read, there was nothing else but the division of the immortal world. The immortal world was divided into earthly immortal, celestial immortal, Xian immortal, 9 heavens Xian immortal, Tai true immortal, Tai golden immortal, Daluo golden immortal, immortal monarch, immortal emperor, and finally, the ruler of the immortal world, immortal venerables. Looking at these levels, Lin Rei suddenly felt that he was at the bottom of the immortal world. At this moment, his will to fight suddenly soared. He couldn't wait to improve his cultivation immediately and stand at the peak of the immortal world. Phew. After reading the jade slip, Lin Rei exhaled deeply. He was deeply shocked, but at the same time, a strong will was planted in Lin Rei's heart. The woman next to him saw that the man in front of her didn't show any expression after reading this. At first, she was curious about the man in front of her. She knew that when 2 people were together, the first thing that would arise was curiosity. As the woman became more and more curious about the man, she would eventually become his girlfriend and then a family. Now, this woman had obviously become the first step and was curious about Lin Rei. Hee, thank you. How much are these things? After recovering from the content of the jade slip, Lin Rei felt very embarrassed. He didn't pay the woman and directly read the jade slip. Therefore, the moment he recovered, Lin Rei asked the woman next to him. Oh. It's not much. It's not very expensive for young master to get the name. 1,000 upper grade spirit stones will do. Okay. After hearing the woman's offer, Lin Rei quickly took out 1,000 upper grade spirit stones and handed it to the servant next to him. Then, he stood up and prepared to leave. Young master, don't worry. Didn't you just arrive in the immortal world? It just so happens that our crystal clear water pavilion is going to hold an auction in 2 days. If young master has time, you might as well come and take a look. Who knows, maybe you'll find something you like in the auction. When the woman next to him heard that Linley was going to have one, she immediately stood up excitedly and told Linley about the auction that would take place in 2 days. As she spoke, she looked around in a daze, and her hands were tightly clasped together. After hearing the woman's words, Lin Rei, who was about to leave, stopped in his tracks and became interested. Okay, I'll come again in 2 days. Lin Rei didn't see the woman's state, nor did he care. After giving a simple reply, Lin Rei turned around and walked outside. Chapter 313. He decisively walked out of the crystal-clear water pavilion without any hesitation. Looking at Lin Rei's indifferent appearance as he left, the woman didn't know why, but she felt somewhat uncomfortable in her heart. If someone else were to see him like this, they would definitely want to stay for a while longer. But this person acted as if he didn't see her and didn't want to stay for even a moment longer. It was inevitable for someone with a strong sense of self-esteem to feel a bit uncomfortable. She was someone who was doted on and loved by everyone, but he was unconsciously ignoring her. I don't believe that you don't like beautiful women. In this world, if a woman were to take the place of a man, she would either become his enemy or his lover in the end. You, give me a VLP room in the auction 2 days from now. If Uncle Zhong asks about it, tell him that I have a use for it. The somewhat angry woman said to the servant next to her and hurriedly walked toward the inner courtyard of the crystal-clear water pavilion, leaving the servant behind. At this time, Lin Rei, who had just walked out of the crystal-clear water pavilion, had no idea that he had obtained the favor of a woman without even knowing it. Hee, the matter has been resolved. I didn't expect that I would come here at the right time and run into the auction that only happens once every 100 years. At this time, Lin Rei, who had just walked out of the crystal-clear water pavilion, had nothing to do. Therefore, he strolled on the street. As soon as he recalled the words of the young lady of the crystal-clear water pavilion, Lin Rei's interest grew even stronger. Of course, he wasn't interested in that woman. Rather, he was interested in the auction that only happened once every 100 years. Just thinking about it made him excited. He stopped in his tracks and looked all around. Just as Lin Rei was thinking about the auction, a strange fragrance entered his nose. In an instant, everything unconsciously ran to the back of his mind. Everything started to revolve around this inexplicable thought. Lin Rei had never smelled this fragrance before. After looking all around, Lin Rei sensed that the fragrance was coming from a room not too far away. After learning this, Lin Rei walked toward the source of the fragrance. Before long, he arrived at the source and raised his head to take a look. As it turned out, it was a restaurant. Since you're here, let's go in. We'll open everything according to the day. It seems like I haven't eaten for a long time. With that, Lin Rei walked into the restaurant. As soon as he entered, he was welcomed by the enthusiastic waiter. Brother, please sit here. He led Lin Rei to a seat by the window. Young man, what would you like to eat? Our shop is the most famous in Jingqing City. Lin Rei, who was sitting in his seat, looked up at the dishes hanging on the wall. For a moment, he didn't know what to eat. It wasn't that Lin Rei was picky, but that Lin Rei had never eaten these dishes before. Well, serve them as you see fit. As long as they are your specialty dishes, serve them. Oh, by the way, serve 2 pots of your good wine. All right, please wait for a moment. I'll give you the menu and serve the dishes in a moment. After hearing Lin Rei's order, the waiter went crazy. It was as if the 7 amp of these dishes belonged to him. Lin Rei didn't think too much about it. Instead, he looked out of the window and looked at the bustling street outside with people coming and going. Time passed by, and the dishes were served little by little. Finally, after the wine was served, everything was served together. Lin Rei also began to loot like a hurricane. For a person who hadn't eaten or drunk for several years, it was simply a naked temptation. Hey, have you heard? What? What is it? I haven't heard. It's said that there is an ancient ruin under Jingqing City that is about to appear. When he was eating, he was attracted by the conversation of the people next to him, and his hands stopped eating. The news in the restaurant was the most well-informed recently, and it was also the most abundant. Lin Rei had a deep understanding of this. When he heard about the ancient ruins, Lin Rei began to concentrate on their conversation. Really? And according to the gossip, now the major empires, immortal sects, and even some sects' proud sons of heaven and elders have brought people to our Jingqing city. Looking at the face of the person who spoke, he was very cautious. This made Lin Rei have doubts. It was reasonable to say that this kind of thing couldn't be spread casually, but looking at his appearance, it didn't seem to be false. Then what should we do? Although our Jingqing city is an ancient battlefield discovered by the ancient gods and demons, it is not wrong to say that there are ruins, but how many years have passed? How could it not be discovered by others? Who knows? Who cares, the ruins are the ruins. Anyway, we can't compete with them. They are all the proud sons of the big families and sections. Compared with them, we can't even take one move. So, let's just be honest civilians. Yes, that's right. At this moment, all their words fell into Lin Ray's ears. Listening to their discussion, Lin Ray somewhat believed their words. Of course, how could Lin Ray easily believe their words? But Lin Ray suddenly remembered that before he came, his divine sense had sensed the pressure coming from the walls of the entire Jingqing city. At this moment, Lin Ray believed it. It's getting more and more interesting. I didn't expect that I would encounter the primordial battlefield and the reappearance of the primordial ruins in a random town. Looks like the heavens are really helping me. As the saying goes, if you don't take advantage of an opportunity, you are a bastard. For such a thing, how could Lin Ray, who was eager to break through his cultivation, miss it? Since he was not in a hurry to leave, Lin Ray slowed down his eating speed. He wanted to see what kind of news he could hear here. As time passed, Lin Ray, who had eaten his fill, heard nothing except the news that the ruins were about to appear. Waiter, the bill. Coming. When the waiter heard the bill, he quickly came to Lin Ray's side. Looking at the empty plates on the table, the waiter wiped the sweat on his forehead and said the price of the dishes. A total of 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Here. Hearing the price, Lin Ray didn't think it was too expensive. When he was eating, Lin Ray found out that the ingredients for their meals were all missing. The meat of the demonic beasts. He casually took out 4,000 low-grade spiritual stones and handed them to the waiter. He said indifferently, "Here are 4,000 low-grade spiritual stones. Take the rest as your tip. By the way, give me a room. I want to stay here." Chapter 314. In this way, Lin Ray stayed in this small shop for 2 days. However, in his eyes, it was just a speck of starlight that passed in the blink of an eye. During these 2 days, Lin Ray had been practicing in his room, consolidating his cultivation and increasing his strength. The world was quiet, but this was only because of Lin Ray's practice. Jingqing City was a remote city that no one wanted to come to. However, in these 2 days, more and more people came, and it seemed that none of them were ordinary people. Everyone's cultivation was very strong, and the strength behind them could not be underestimated. The reason was that Lin Ray had heard about the antiquity times ruins under Jingqing City by chance when he was eating. In just 2 days, the desolate Jingqing City had become a bustling place. Every day, a large number of people poured into Jingqing City. Even when Jingqing City had no place to stay, they sat on the ground in Jingqing City, waiting for the ruins to open. At this moment, Jingqing City was full of smoke. Everyone was staring at each other, fearing that the other party would take action once the ruins appeared. In the room of the hotel, sword chi was vigorous. In a short moment, all the wooden things in the room, no matter the table or anything else, were turned into powder the moment the sword chi appeared. Phew! In an instant, the sword chi appeared in the blink of an eye and was withdrawn by Lin Ray, who had been in closed-door training for 2 days. He let out a long breath and slowly opened his eyes. A flash of light was seen in the twinkling of an eye. Ha, I didn't expect that after 2 days of closed-door training, my sword chi would soar to a new height and break through to the level of sword chi transformation. If I were to face an expert at the late stage of the celestial immortal realm, even if I don't use martial arts, the sword chi transformation alone would be enough to kill him. Of course, this kind of thing was hard to say. No one knew what would happen in a battle. If it was said that there were thousands of changes in an instant, no one would know what would happen in the next moment. For this kind of thing, it was just Lin Ray's own imagination. If he wanted to realize whether it was true or not, he could only find a real celestial immortal expert to fight. Only then could he verify it. Phew! It's time for me to go out and get some exercise. I heard that the ruins will appear, but I don't know when it will be. At this time, Lin Ray was still thinking about the appearance of the ruins that he had heard about during dinner. With that thought in mind, Lin Ray stood up and stretched his body that had not moved for 2 days. Kacha kacha. The sound of bones cracking could be heard from Lin Ray's body the moment he got out of bed. The sound was very terrifying. It was impossible for an ordinary cultivator to make such a sound. After getting out of bed, Lin Rei washed up a little before opening the door and walking out. As soon as he opened the door, the dazzling sunlight instantly caused Linley's eyes to close. But a happy smile appeared on his face, as though he was a sunny boy. He was extremely handsome, especially with that head of violet hair of his, which only served to accentuate his unique aura. Suddenly, Lin Rei opened his eyes and looked up at the sky. Ow! A resounding bestial roar shook the heavens, and accompanying it was an aura that caused Linley to be stunned. Gradually, a tiger with a pair of red and white wings on its back appeared in everyone's eyes. However, this tiger was not a normal tiger. This demonic beast was 100 meters long and its eyes were like copper bells. Just from the pressure on its body, one could feel that this demonic beast's strength was extraordinarily strong. Of course, it was the appearance of this demonic beast that made Lin Rei's closed eyes suddenly open. He did not care if his eyes were used to it or not. However, what shocked Lin Rei was not the demonic beast, but the young man sitting on the back of the demonic beast. Looking at his age, he seemed to be in his 20s or 30s. This man had a jade-like face, sword-like eyebrows, and starry eyes. His eyes were like the stars in the sky, shining brightly. At the same time, they were deep and moving, making people unable to extricate themselves from them. At this moment, Lin Rei was very shocked. Because Lin Rei could not feel any pressure or aura from this man at all. He was just like an ordinary person who had never practiced martial arts. Two pairs of eyes met. At this moment, the man on top of the demonic tiger felt Linley's gaze on him. Instantly, the two pairs of eyes met. What's going on? A little ant at the peak of the earthly immortal realm can look into my eyes? The man thought it was an illusion. Then, his mind sense burst out and he came in front of Lin Rei in an instant, sensing Lin Rei's aura. A few seconds later, the man sitting on the tiger's back laughed. Hee, what a magical little guy. I didn't expect that with only the cultivation of the peak of the earthly immortal realm, he could look into my eyes. If he can grow up, he will be a rare expert in the future. The man was only interested in Lin Rei's appearance. After confirming his thoughts, the man withdrew his mind sense and gaze. He did not look at Lin Rei again and flew directly into the capital city. Linley didn't move at all. He just stood there, allowing the man's divine sense to sweep over him without doing anything. Phew. The man's departure caused Linley's body to relax. Just as the man's divine sense was about to reach him, the sensitive Linley instantly sensed the man's cultivation base. It was vast and boundless, like a boundless ocean. It was like an ancient well that had no ripples, making it hard to fathom. It seems that the ancient gods and devils relic is real. It can make such an expert come to this desolate place, which is enough to show the importance of this relic. At the same time, thinking of this, Lin Rei's face turned ugly. Because, with only the strength of the peak of the earthly immortal realm, it was no doubt like hitting a stone with an egg. He would not be able to withstand a single blow. Boom! As soon as the pressure passed, a terrifying cultivator descended. However, this time, the person who had come didn't hide his cultivation base. Ha. Startling Dawn, I didn't expect that. Your father can let you come here. It seems that this is going to be fun. This man shouted at the man who had just passed by. His tone was overbearing, his aura was so strong that no one dared to approach him. What? So that man is called Startling Dawn? Hee. Lin Rei had deeply engraved the name Startling Dawn in his mind. It was not because he had tested him with his mind sense, but because Lin Rei felt that this man called Startling Dawn was very powerful. Even the people who followed him were not as powerful as him. What's wrong, Haoyu? Your father finally let you out. This time, he didn't send anyone to protect you, did he? This sentence directly made the man who had just spoken blush. He did not speak, but his eyes were not as unscrupulous as before. However, he resented startling Dawn. Chapter 3:15. As time passed, more and more powerhouses flocked to Jingqing City. Everyone's eyes would look at the ground from time to time, but then they would withdraw their gazes in disappointment. At the same time, Lin Rei discovered that many powerhouses like Jingshao and Haoyu had arrived in Jingqing City one after another. Lin Rei could only say that their strength was simply not on the same level. In front of them, Lin Rei was like a worker living at the bottom, while they were like lofty emperors that people looked up to. This scene made Lin Rei deeply realize the inadequacy of his own strength. At the same time, it also deeply stimulated him. Lin Rei, who was already accustomed to this scene, walked downstairs and went to the dining area in the front yard. He sat at the window where he had eaten before. "Little brother, you are out. What would you like to eat?" As soon as he sat down, the waiter from before came to the table, smiling as he asked Linley, "What's the matter?" Looking at it, Linley chuckled. "Just give me some random items, and 2 jugs of good wine." Lin Rei liked the waiter very much. Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, the waiter hurried to the kitchen. After a while, he returned with 2 bottles of wine that he had drunk before and placed them in front of Lin Rei. "Little brother, you drink first. I will hurry up the dishes for you later. I guarantee that you won't have to wait for a while." After saying that, the waiter left again. Lin Rei took the bottle of wine and began to taste it carefully. As he drank his wine, he looked at the people coming and going outside the window. Linley just watched quietly as the wine in his hand continued to pour into his mouth. In an instant, the cultivation base of every passerby appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Peak Celestial Immortal, Mystic Immortal, 9th Heaven Mystic Immortal. Wait. Looking at their cultivations, Lin Rei knew that the experts who came this time were probably stronger than him. Of course, Lin Rei didn't become dispirited because of this. Instead, his fighting spirit soared. He couldn't wait to rush up and fight. Just like that, every person who passed by, all their information would appear directly in Lin Rei's mind through the system. Suddenly, the sound of a system prompt rang in Lin Rei's mind. Ding dong. Discovered a Grand Unity True Immortal Expert. Background, Shocking Heaven Sect. Age, 368 years old. Single. His ancestor is the Sky Tyrant Immortal. He has a candid personality, outstanding talent, and a supreme-grade spiritual root. You can befriend him. A voice directly made Lin Rei spit out the wine that he had just drunk. His face was red from the wine. Cough, cough, cough. A burst of violent coughing attracted the attention of the people around him. Lin Rei was very embarrassed about this. "Cough, little dragon, are you stupid? It's fine as long as he doesn't find trouble with me. You actually want me to befriend him?" Lin Rei didn't understand. Just his background alone was enough to crush him. Plus, he had an ancestor at the level of Immortal Venerable. Befriend him? Was that even possible? Humph, Lin Rei, this is the last time I'm telling you. It's not that you don't have the qualifications, but that he doesn't have anyone. If it weren't for your weak strength, I wouldn't even agree to meet such a piece of trash, let alone befriend you. As the saying goes, if you want to see how good a pretentious person is, you have to see how thick his skin is. At this moment, Lin Rei was very sleepy. The little dragon's pretentious ability was really not for show. Listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Rei was speechless. He didn't know what to say. You have to know that your bloodline is the only one in the entire function. They are just a foil to you. At the same time, they can only be your foil. So, don't doubt your qualifications. Although the little dragon's words were a bit exaggerated, to Lin Rei, everyone was the same. So what if he had an immortal venerable background? That was his father's. What did he have? If he had started cultivating from an ordinary person with nothing, could he have reached this step? After thinking it through, Lin Rei didn't stop the other party because there was no need to. He withdrew his gaze and tasted the wine seriously. At this moment, the table was already full of dishes. Looking at these dishes, Lin Rei's appetite was aroused. As the saying goes, people are made of iron and rice is made of steel. If you don't eat, you'll be hungry. Although Lin Rei had cultivated to this level and didn't feel hungry, Lin Rei couldn't help but have the urge to eat. Without saying much, he ate big pieces of meat and drank big mouthfuls of wine. Lin Rei's actions seemed to have infected the people eating around him. Everyone started to imitate Lin Rei and started to eat. "Excuse me, can I sit here?" A voice stopped Lin Rei, who was eating excitedly. He looked up. Wasn't it Startling Dawn, who the little dragon had asked him to befriend? Startled. Startled, still startled. Lin Rei really couldn't understand. There were so many empty places around. Why did he come here to sit with him? "Excuse me, can I sit here?" Another question woke Lin Rei up from his daze. "Ah. That, you sit here." Lin Rei gestured for him to sit down. He wiped the oil on his mouth with his hand and straightened his posture. "I'm Lin Rei. May I know who you are?" Although he knew the other party's name, he couldn't say the other party's name so blatantly. That would be a bad thing. "Oh, I'm Startling Dawn." "Hello, Brother Lin." After sitting down, Startling Dawn didn't care about his identity and background after introducing himself to Lin Rei. He didn't look down on Lin Rei and then said his name. "Ha ha ha, good, Brother Startling Dawn. It's fate that we met. Come, try the wine that our parents brewed." Looking at him, Linley's impression of his performance just now instantly improved by a lot. Then, he took out 2 bottles of red wine and whiskey that Jean Ling had bought for him, placed them in front of Startling Dawn, and said heartily, "Oh." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Startling Dawn looked over and saw 2 exquisite bottles in front of him. "Hiss, these bottles are exquisite." The moment he saw the bottles, Startling Dawn's eyes were deeply attracted to them. "Huh, you'll know when you drink the wine inside." Looking at Startling Dawn's expression, Lin Rei smiled and didn't say anything. Then, he opened the 2 bottles of wine and poured a bowl for Startling Dawn. Lin Rei picked up the wine that the waiter had brought and clinked glasses with Startling Dawn. "Here, this bowl is ready." After saying that, Lin Rei didn't care if Startling Dawn drank it or not. He drank it in one gulp. Burp. A drunken burp came out of Linley's mouth. Chapter 316. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, a hearty laugh rang out from Startling Dawn's mouth. For a moment, Linley's face was flushed red. He had just gotten up. "Ha. I didn't expect Brother Lin to be such a straightforward person." Gulp. As soon as Startling Dawn finished speaking, he downed the bowl of wine in his hand. The smile on his face didn't decrease, but increased instead. At this time, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He thought that Startling Dawn would say something, but he didn't expect that he would say something like that. "Phew, it's so refreshing. Brother Lin. What kind of wine is this? I've never drunk such a dry and mellow wine before. Moreover, there seems to be the fragrance of grapes and flowers in it. The taste is excellent." After hearing Startling Dawn's words, Lin Rei knew that he was also a wine lover. Just based on the fact that he was able to identify the raw materials of the wine. Hee, that's right. This wine is a red wine produced by my boss. The fragrance inside is the fragrance of roses. After saying that, Lin Rei picked up the wine bottle again and handed it to Startling Dawn, hinting him to drink it. However, Lin Rei didn't expect that Startling Dawn was also a drunkard. He didn't stand on ceremony with Lin Rei and directly took the bottle and started drinking by himself. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei smiled. Originally, he wanted to make friends with Startling Dawn. Now that they had a tacit understanding, it was only a matter of time before they became friends. Seeing that Startling Dawn was drinking happily, Linley didn't have the chance to continue eating. He once again began to gobble down his food. The meal passed very quickly. At this time, Startling Dawn had also finished the 2 bottles of wine. His originally handsome face was now flushed red, making him look very handsome. Hee, brother Startling Dawn, you see? After drinking and eating, I'm going to the crystal clear water pavilion to watch the auction. I wonder if brother Startling Dawn is willing to go with me. Burp. Startling burped. Startling had been a bit drunk, but upon hearing Linley's words, his drunkenness instantly disappeared, and his entire person became spirited. Sure. You don't say, my father forces me to cultivate all day long. Every day, other than cultivating, it's just cultivating. I rarely come out. Although I did attend the auction, that was decades ago. Startling Dawn's words shocked Lin Ray, but at the same time, he sympathized with him. However, he had no choice but to sympathize with him silently. Hee, alright, let's go. Maybe the auction has already started. After agreeing to Startling Dawn's request, he led the way and headed toward the crystal clear water pavilion. The journey was very peaceful. But amidst the peace, Lin Ray felt a stifling feeling, which made him feel very uncomfortable. Lin Ray didn't have the opportunity to do so. He quickly arrived at the entrance of the crystal clear water pavilion. The 2 guards standing at the entrance didn't stop Lin Ray. On the contrary, a smile appeared on their faces after they saw Lin Ray. Young master, our young miss has instructed us to let you in directly if you come. The young miss has already prepared a room for you. It's on the 3rd floor, room 305, of VLP 305. What? Lin Ray was dumbfounded by these words. What do you mean by the room has already been prepared? Are you very familiar with me? Although he thought this way, Lin Ray didn't refuse. Okay, you can go ahead and do what you need to do. After informing the 2 guards, Lin Ray led Startling Dawn into the room prepared for the young miss of the crystal clear water pavilion. Along the way, everyone was staring at Lin Ray and Startling Dawn's actions until they entered the room. Lin Ray didn't care about their gazes. Therefore, he entered the room under the watchful eyes of everyone present, Lin Ray. After entering the room, Startling Dawn, who had been following behind Lin Ray, jokingly said to Lin Ray, Hee, I didn't expect that brother Lin Ray would actually have such a song. Sigh, brother Startling Dawn, don't make fun of me. Who knows what's going on with their young miss? I've only seen him once 2 days ago. If we're close, I don't even know his name. Naturally, Lin Ray was also surprised by Startling Dawn's words. He had no idea what this young miss of the crystal clear water pavilion was thinking. Sigh. Forget it. Since we're here, we might as well take things as they come. I want to see what this young miss of the crystal clear water pavilion wants to do. After saying this much, Lin Ray looked for a place and sat down. Startling Dawn also sat down in front of Lin Ray and waited for the start of the auction. However, what they didn't know was that the moment they entered the room, the people outside burst into an uproar. From what they knew, no one had ever entered the 3rd floor before. But now, a little cultivator with no experience was allowed to enter. How could they be willing to accept this? Your crystal clear water pavilion is quite capable. You would rather let a little cultivator of the earth immortal realm enter the 3rd floor than let us enter. Is this how your crystal clear water pavilion receives its guests? That's right. That's right. In any case, we've been friends and frequent customers for many years, right? For a moment, the voices of the people in the room boiled over. After one person started the matter, the situation became chaotic. If you don't accept it, then get lost. This is the rule of my crystal clear water pavilion. Besides, it was my young miss who allowed them to enter. What can you do about it? If you don't want to stay here, then get the hell out of here. My crystal clear water pavilion won't do business with you. A cold snort, accompanied by a huge pressure, suppressed the voices of everyone present as soon as it appeared. It was unknown what cultivation level the speaker had, but as soon as he said that, no one present dared to say anything. The crystal clear water pavilion is indeed the crystal clear water pavilion. Although it's just a small branch, it still has a grand unity golden immortal guarding it. It's truly worthy of being one of the 3 big trading companies of the immortal world. At this time, Jing Xiao, who was in room 305 on the 3rd floor, had a change in expression after sensing the pressure. Soon after, his complexion returned to normal. Lin Rei didn't notice Jing Xiao's actions. At this time, Lin Rei was also intimidated by the pressure. He was so shocked that he didn't have the time to pay attention to Jing Xiao's actions. In the outside world, the people who were intimidated by the speaker were like eggplants that had been beaten by frost. They didn't dare to complain anymore and sat in their original seats. If you want to continue the auction, then obediently sit in your original seats and wait for the auction to start. If you don't want to, then get the hell out of here. From now on, my crystal clear water pavilion won't welcome you. As soon as the speaker finished speaking, there was no more sound. The pressure was withdrawn, and everything returned to normal. The instant the pressure was withdrawn, everyone relaxed. However, they still had some lingering fear from the previous situation. They didn't want to offend the overlord of one of the 3 big trading companies of the immortal world just because of a person they didn't want to trade with. After all, it wasn't worth it. Chapter 317. The auction was about to start. What happened just now was just a small interlude. As for Lin Rei and the others, they didn't suffer any losses. What Lin Rei didn't know was that this small interlude had already pushed Lin Rei to the heart of the struggle. He was now someone that everyone wanted to get acquainted with. Naturally, it was also because of this small interlude that Jing Xiao's curiosity toward Lin Rei grew. Previously, he was still curious because Lin Rei was able to look him in the eyes without any reaction. But now, the young lady of the crystal clear water pavilion had arranged for him to stay in a room on the 3rd floor that only the big shots were allowed to enter. Jing Xiao was now filled with endless curiosity toward Lin Rei. At the same time, he was also interested in the young lady of the crystal clear water pavilion. Someone who could make a primordial unity golden immortal powerhouse guard couldn't possibly be an ordinary person. The crystal clear water pavilion was one of the 3 big shots of the young lady's trading company. The 1st and 2nd floors were open to outsiders, but the 3rd floor was set up by the old ancestor of the crystal clear water pavilion. When the crystal clear water pavilion was established, only the young lady of the crystal clear water pavilion could be seated on the 3rd floor. Other people couldn't enter it, nor did they have the qualifications to do so. Even the descendant of a venerable immortal, Jing Xiao, could only sit on the 2nd floor. He had never been to the 3rd floor before. Therefore, he was very curious about this point. Someone who could break the rules set by the old ancestor of the crystal clear water pavilion couldn't be someone to be trifled with. Alright, the centennial auction of the ancient capital is about to start. Everyone, sorry to keep you waiting. At this time, on the stage of the auction house, a person came up to the stage and said to the people below, Good. Let's start quickly. In an instant, all the people below started whistling, discussing, and getting excited. Lin Rei, who had been sitting on the 3rd floor all along, also got excited. It was the first time that Lin Rei had seen something from the immortal world. Of course, that was excluding the immortal grass he had obtained in the endless mountain range with the Tai ape. His gaze was fixed on the auction stage below. When Jing Xiao saw Lin Rei's strange movements, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He smiled and didn't say anything. His gaze was fixed on the auction stage below. Alright, everyone, I won't speak any more nonsense. Each of the 100 auction items is priceless. They are the treasures that the crystal clear water pavilion has accumulated for hundreds of years. Some of them are even treasures that have been left behind since ancient times. Just as the auctioneer finished speaking, a young girl dressed in celestial robes walked onto the stage with a wooden tray in her hands. She gently placed the tray on the table that had already been placed on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the object in this wooden tray is an ancient sword. It doesn't have a rank, but it's made of a very special material. Ordinary middle-grade immortal weapons can't even cut it in half. The crystal clear water pavilion has been researching it for 100 years, but they were unable to find the material of this sword. Therefore, they had no choice but to auction it. Nameless ancient sword, the starting bid is 1 million high-grade spirit stones, and each bid is 300,000. Alright, let's begin the auction. 2 million. 3 million. Half an hour later, the nameless ancient sword had already been sold for 13 million high-grade spirit stones. Moreover, from the way the price was rising, it seemed that there were still people who wanted to buy it. Lin Ray, hurry up and buy it. Hurry up, it's the Flaming Stream 10,000 Laws sword. Hurry up. The sudden words shocked Lin Ray, who was originally uninterested. Looking at the longsword on the table below, Lin Ray found it hard to believe that a rusty red longsword was the Flaming Stream 10,000 Laws sword. Are you sure? This longsword is already worth 10 million high-grade spirit stones. It wasn't that Lin Ray was unwilling to part with the spirit stones, but that Lin Ray didn't want to spend the spirit stones before he was sure. TCH, aren't you just reluctant to part with the spirit stones? Don't worry. This Flaming Stream 10,000 Laws sword is the real deal. Don't be fooled by its rusty appearance. As long as you resonate with it with the Emu 10,000 Laws sword, it will be restored to its original appearance. The little dragon's guarantee made Lin Ray feel a little better. However, the little dragon had said that he was stingy, so he didn't feel happy for a while. But as for the Flaming Stream 10,000 Laws sword, after learning its identity, Lin Ray decided that he was going to buy it. 30 million. The sudden voice fell into the ears of everyone in the crystal clear water pavilion like a shocking piece of news. Everyone looked at the third floor. How is this possible? Who is this guy? He actually bid 30 million high-grade spirit stones in one go. At this moment, everyone was trying to search for any information about Lin Ray in their minds. Unfortunately, all their efforts ended in failure. They had never heard of such a person in the immortal world before. Not only them, but even Jingxiao, who was in the same room as them, was shocked. 30 million high-grade spirit stones was also a huge sum of money in his eyes. But when he saw Lin Ray's expression, he didn't seem to feel the slightest bit of heartache. It was as if he was talking about 3,000 high-grade spirit stones. For him, 30 million high-grade spirit stones was something that he had to discuss with his father before he could take out. But now, it was taken out by a person who had reached the peak of the Earth immortal realm. This made him feel very uncomfortable. 30 million. 30 million going once. 30 million going twice. 30 million going thrice. Done. 40 million. Just as the hammer was about to fall, a discordant but shocking voice came from the room on the second floor. What? 40 million? At this time, this simple sentence shocked everyone present. Even the auctioneer on the stage was shocked. He had thought that this long sword with no grade would be sold for 10 million at most. He didn't expect that it would be sold for 40 million. Lin Ray felt helpless about the price of 40 million. Of course, he also felt sorry for his family's wealth. Although 40 million was nothing in his eyes, it was still money after all. When he heard the price of 40 million, Lin Ray's expression changed significantly. His smile disappeared. Oh, competing with me in terms of wealth? You're courting death. At this time, Lin Ray's unwillingness to accept the price was forced out by the person on the second floor. 50 million. With that one sentence, the originally bustling scene instantly quieted down. Everyone held their breaths because 50 million was an astronomical figure to them. At this moment, the people on the second floor, upon hearing Linley's bid of 50 million, no longer made a sound. Okay, 50 million going once. 50 million going twice. 50 million going thrice. Dong. Sold. At this time, this long sword with no grade belonged to Lin Ray. Hearing the auctioneer's words, Lin Ray relaxed and a relaxed smile appeared on his face. The previous haze disappeared the moment he received the long sword with no grade. Hee, congratulations, Brother Lin. I didn't expect you to be so rich. 50 million for a long sword with no grade. Chapter 318. Hearing startling Dawn's words, Linley didn't say anything. He only smiled. To him, the flaming stream 10,000 spells sword was worth it. Even if his family had to pay 50 million, he would still be willing. Dong dong dong. Not long after, there was a knock on the door. Come in. At this moment, only the person who delivered the auction items could come here. With a twig sound, the door was pushed open. One woman after another, dragging a long sword behind her, walked in and came to Linley's side. Bowing slightly and lowering her head, she spoke to Linley. Young master, this sword is yours. The flaming stream of 10,000 laws sword was in front of him. Looking at it, Lin Ray was very excited, but he did not show it. Here are 50 million high-grade spiritual stones. Take it. Without any delay, he took out a storage ring and placed it in front of the woman. Inside the ring, there were 5,000 high-grade spirit stones that would make anyone's eyes go red with envy. Thank you, young master. Then I will go down first. With that, the woman quickly walked out of the room. Since the money for the auction items had been taken, there was no need to go down. Lin Ray could not wait to open the flaming stream of 10,000 laws sword in his hand. At this moment, only Startling Dawn and himself were left in the room. The little dragon said that Startling Dawn was a person worth befriending, so Lin Ray did not deliberately hide anything. Whoosh, Lin Ray waved his hand and a formation covered the whole room, sealing the whole room. Huh? Brother Lin, you want to? The sudden move made Startling Dawn, who had been observing him, puzzled. He did not expect that Lin Ray would suddenly set up a formation. Brother Startling Dawn, don't panic. You will know in a while. He did not explain too much because he would know what was going to happen next. Clang. Instantly, a green longsword appeared in Linley's hands. A vigorous sword aura swirled around the green longsword, not dissipating at all. Hiss. This. Startling Dawn was never short of magic weapons, but it was the first time he saw the long sword in Lin Ray's hand. The owner did not use his cultivation, but the sword chi around him did not dissipate. This is my magic weapon, the wooden 10,000 laws sword. I only use it occasionally. Lin Ray knew that Startling Dawn was shocked, but he did not reveal the real function of the wooden 10,000 laws sword. Lin Ray certainly could not reveal the true function of the sword. As the saying goes, a man's wealth is his own ruin. Although Lin Ray wanted to befriend Dawn, there was no need to reveal everything. Looking at the 10,000 laws sword in his hand and the rusty long sword in his other hand, he didn't say anything. He activated his cultivation technique and immortal chi rushed out of his body and into the 10,000 laws sword. With a boom sound, the sword energy expanded dramatically, nearly breaking through the formation. Fortunately, Linley was able to control the energy within. Hiss. After seeing the power of the green sword in Linley's hand, he couldn't help but mutter in his heart, it seems that I should look at this long sword first. Judging from the power it emits now, it is definitely not inferior to a magic treasure at the peak of the immortal artifact. He actually only uses such a complete thing occasionally. Although he thought so, he did not show it. After all, the sword belonged to someone else and had nothing to do with him. Out of curiosity, Startling Dawn dismissed his thoughts and carefully watched Lin Ray's actions. He wanted to see what kind of surprises this earthly immortal practitioner, who was full of secrets, could give him. At this moment, the wooden 10,000 Laws sword in Lin Ray's hand had accumulated enough energy. According to the little dragon's instructions, he put the wooden 10,000 Laws sword and the wooden 10,000 Laws sword together so that the two swords could sense each other. After all, they were made from the same mold before. After everything was settled, Lin Ray directly released his divine sense and wrapped it around the wooden 10,000 Laws sword. He wanted to see the wooden 10,000 Laws sword shine again. Of course, Startling Dawn, who had been observing Lin Ray's actions, had no way of knowing. He looked at Lin Ray's concentrated expression and fell silent. His eyes were fixed on the long sword in Lin Ray's hand. He was very curious as to why Lin Ray did this and why he did it. Time passed little by little. The auction outside was in full swing. Lin Ray spent his time in the clean room. He did not know anything about the outside world. At the same time, the outside world also did not know what was happening in the room. Huff, huff, huff. Soon, half an hour passed. The quiet room was broken by a heat wave that came out of nowhere. Startling Dawn, who was a Tai genuine immortal, naturally knew this strange phenomenon. However, he did not know the source of the heat wave. He only felt that the temperature in the room was getting higher and higher. It was almost unbearable for him. Boom! The phenomenon lasted for 5 minutes. Finally, at this moment, Startling Dawn knew that the source of the heat wave was the long sword in Lin Ray's hand. At this moment, Lin Ray opened his eyes. There was a scorching light in his eyes. He lowered his head and looked at the wooden 10,000 Laws sword in his hand. Lin Ray, who had some doubts at first, was now completely convinced that this sword was the 10,000 Laws sword the moment the wooden 10,000 Laws sword was restored. At this moment, the wooden 10,000 Laws sword had become completely cold. The rusty long sword had become as red as fire, as if there were flames on it. It was very strange. How is it? You should believe me now. The sudden voice embarrassed Lin Ray. He did not expect the little dragon to still remember what he said before. Okay, it's all my fault, okay. I was the one who didn't believe you. I was blind. I won't do it again. Everything you say is right, okay? In order to avoid a war of the century, Lin Ray could only admit defeat. Otherwise, it would definitely be a battle of words. Alright, since you've admitted your mistake, then let's leave it at that. However, I have to remind you that this city will not be peaceful soon. If you want to be safe and sound, then you have to protect yourself well. Who knows, maybe after this, your strength will increase greatly. The little dragon's words aroused Lin Ray's interest. What is it? Tell me clearly. At this moment, there was no sound from the little dragon. Lin Ray was helpless about this. Every time, the little dragon disappeared before he finished speaking, leaving others in suspense. This made Lin Ray very helpless, but at the same time, he was very curious about what was going to happen next. Chapter 319. F***CK, next time, if you tell me the beginning and not the end, I will definitely get angry. Lin Ray had no way to deal with the little dragon. It was this person who was both a teacher and a friend that helped Lin Ray achieve what he had today. Sigh. Really, what did the little dragon mean? Is it related to the ancient ruins? Lin Ray thought about the little dragon's words for a long time, but in the end, he still couldn't figure it out. Lin Ray even linked the ancient ruins together, but in the end, he gave up. Different situations call for different measures. What will come will come. Let's take it one step at a time. Lin Ray, who came back to his senses, looked down at the fire stream universal sword that had changed. Looking at its appearance, Lin Ray couldn't help but want to give it a try. Hee, I didn't expect to come to an auction. Now that I've found you, do you think I'm lucky or lucky? Looking at the Fire Stream Universal Sword in his hand, Lin Ray couldn't help but laugh foolishly, which made startling Xiao speechless. Brother Lin, I didn't expect this. This long sword is indeed a good thing. Looking at its appearance, it must be a top-grade celestial weapon, right? Lin Ray was pleased to hear this, but from startling Zhao's words, Lin Ray could hear a hint of envy. Hee, you're wrong. This sword is indeed a magic weapon with no grade. But because it has no grade, it can cut celestial weapons like carrots. Air. Startling Zhao's face twitched when he heard Lin Ray's words. His face hurt because of what he had said before. This was undoubtedly a slap in the face. With a swoosh, Linley waved his right hand, and the formation that had been set up in the room was instantly removed by Linley. All right. 6 million upper spiritual stones. Dong. Deal. This blood ginseng belongs to the customer of number 32. The moment the array was removed, the noise outside immediately reached Lin Ray's ears. Lin Ray, who had obtained the Flaming Stream Myriad Law Sword, was very happy at the moment. Therefore, Lin Ray was willing to answer any questions he had. The curious startling Dawn was also very confused about the Flaming Stream of 10,000 Laws sword. Thus, startling Dawn immediately asked Linley about the whole story. Brother Lin, tell me, did you already know the value of this long sword? Lin Ray did not intend to hide anything. That's right. This sword is called the Fire Stream Universal Sword. The auctioneer was right. This long sword is indeed unranked. Even so, its power is much stronger than that of a supreme celestial artifact. His words confirmed the doubts in Jing Zhao's heart, but at the same time, he was also interested in this long sword. Actually, the 10,000 law swords are divided into 5, and I didn't expect each of them to have their own unique power. What I took out before was one of the 10,000 law swords, and when these 5 swords are combined, their power is truly unimaginable. Without hiding anything, he told Jing Xiao a small part of the secret of the Myriad Law Sword. Lin Ray had already expected Jing Zhao's expression. Sure enough, after listening to Lin Ray's words, Jing Zhao's mouth was wide open and his eyes were full of disbelief. A long time later, startling Dawn finally regained his senses. He hadn't expected that Linley actually had more long swords like this, and 5 of them at that. Thank you, Brother Lin, for telling me the secret. However, I really did not expect Brother Lin to have such a treasure. I'm really envious of you. Jing Xiao was envious of the long swords in Lin Ray's hands, but he did not want to take them for himself. Lin Ray was very clear about this. It was also because of this that Lin Ray wanted to make friends with him. Oh, by the way, Brother Jing Xiao, I'm afraid that Jingxing City will not be peaceful. So, after death, you have to be careful. In this world, people's hearts are often more terrible than demonic beasts or even other things. Linley felt that it was necessary to tell him about the upcoming competition. Although he had the strength of a Tai true immortal and basically no one could hurt him, it was one thing to tell him about it, and another thing to not tell him about it. The nature of the competition was different. Oh. Hearing Lin Ray's words, Jing Zhao's eyes widened, but he returned to normal in an instant. However, Lin Ray could still see his movements. Really? What's the matter? Linley couldn't be bothered to reply to a question that he already knew the answer to. Since he knew that the other party already knew the answer, he would have to say it again. Linley felt that there was no need. He had originally thought that the other party was a straightforward and upright person, but now it seemed, oh. Brother Jing Xiao, it's not a smart person to ask a question when you already know the answer. So, you don't need to ask me about what's going to happen next. As he spoke, Linley stood up and walked towards the door. He had come here for the auction, and now that he had acquired the item he wanted, there was no reason for him to stay here any longer. Linley's eyes lit up as he walked towards the door. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Jing Xiao was stunned. He felt a little regretful, but since he had already said it, he could not say, "Oh, I know what it is." Startling Dawn quietly watched as Linley left the room. He didn't do anything to stop him. Alas. In the end, this matter isn't something a person like you can touch. Perhaps it was a good thing that I didn't tell you about it. After saying this much, Jing Xiao returned to his original place and closed his eyes to rest. He was well aware of what Lin Rei had said. He was well aware of this, and this was the reason why he had come this time. Phew. Lin Rei walked out of the entrance of the crystal-clear water pavilion and heaved a sigh of relief. He glanced at the entrance of the crystal-clear water pavilion and left without looking back. Jingxing City was an ancient city that had been left behind since ancient times. No one dared to imagine the mysteries that lay within it. The moment Lin Rei left the crystal-clear water pavilion, the atmosphere of the entire Jingxing City began to turn gloomy. But what was even stranger was that a strange energy began to rise above the city walls. At first, the speed was very slow, so no one noticed it. But by the time someone noticed it, it was already too late. In just a short period of time, the entire Jingxing City had been shrouded in an unusual bloody aura. The people outside couldn't enter, and the demons inside couldn't leave. Everyone sensed this scene. Even Jing Xiao, who had been sitting on the third floor of the crystal-clear water pavilion, also sensed it. He instantly came to the main street. He raised his head to look at the sky and saw the bloody aura above his head. A heavy expression appeared on his face. Of course, he wasn't the only one. Everyone in the city came out of their rooms and raised their heads to look at the bloody aura. Apart from fear, there was also helplessness on their faces. Of course, Lin Rei was also one of them. However, Lin Rei's expression wasn't one of helplessness or fear. On the contrary, Lin Rei was very excited. After all, the little dragon had said that his strength would increase greatly in this place. Chapter 320. His words directly blocked their way out. However, some people still doubted the credibility of Lin Rei's words. Humph, don't believe him. He's just a little cultivator at the peak of the earthly immortal realm. He's so good at deceiving people here. Even people who are 100 times stronger than you can't do it. You say you have the ability to protect us. Do you think we're fools? Maybe your elixir is just to make us listen to you and be your scapegoat. The sudden words made those who originally believed Lin Rei regret at this moment. However, he was right. How could a cultivator at the earthly immortal realm be stronger than a genuine immortal or a primordial unity golden immortal? Lin Rei acted as if he didn't hear them. He looked at the crowd with a smile and repeated what he said before. Everyone, my words are still valid now. If you take the elixir, I, Lin Rei, will definitely protect you. Of course, it depends on your own wishes. Just like what the man said before, I know how a little earthly immortal can let you, who are at a higher level than me, be a newcomer. The people present listened to the arguments of the two sides. It was really torturous. They wanted to believe Lin Rei's words, but after seeing Lin Rei's cultivation, they couldn't help but lean towards the cultivator with a higher level of cultivation. However, Lin Rei believed that the world was so beautiful. There must be people who haven't seen enough. Moreover, there were still many people waiting to do. They all needed a chance to live. Time passed little by little. In the end, the crowd chose to stand beside the cultivator with a higher level of cultivation. However, there were also some people who were different. At this moment, when the crowd retreated, two figures stood firmly in the same place. They didn't retreat. Instead, they walked towards Lin Rei. Looking at the two of them, a smile appeared on Linley's face. His eyes were filled with admiration as he looked at the two of them. However, to Lin Rei's surprise, the two people who stayed were both girls. They seemed to be twins. They looked very similar, as if they were carved out of the same mold. Young master, the two of us are willing to take the pill. We only hope that young master can save our lives because we have more important things to do. We can't die just yet. The moment he heard their voices, Lin Rei felt as if he had misheard, because their voices were completely different from their appearances. Their appearances were gentle and pitiful, but their voices were extremely cold, and even contained traces of killing intent. Lin Rei was very curious about this, but he did not ask. All right, here you go. With that, Lin Rei took out 2 pills and placed them in front of them. With a gulp, the two of them didn't hesitate and directly swallowed the medicinal pills. Lin Rei could see the murderous intent in their eyes. It was as if the two of them were carrying some sort of grudge. A few minutes after they finished eating the medicinal pills, the two of them directly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Rei. Bai Yun and Bai Rui greet master. Ha ha ha, did you see that? This medicinal pill is indeed used to make people obedient and become cannon fodder. Seeing the actions of the two of them, the person who had previously fanned the flames quickly stood up and happily testified. The crowd stopped talking and their faces were filled with anger. Hee, stand up, and call me young master from now on. Hearing that person's words, Lin Rei's face was filled with anger. He didn't expect these people to be so detestable. Yes, young master. The moment the two women heard Lin Rei's words, they stood up and changed their greetings to Lin Rei. Then, they stood behind Lin Rei. Humph, people like you don't feel good if I don't kill you. I originally wanted to keep you alive, but I didn't expect you to be so eager to die. Then, don't blame me. With that, the fire stream 10,000 spells sword instantly appeared in Lin Rei's hand. The moment the fire stream appeared, vigorous sword chi soared into the sky. Lin Rei, who had already made a small breakthrough in sword Dao, and with the addition of the new fire stream, at this moment, Lin Rei couldn't help but want to test the sword. He, did you see that? You want to kill me to silence me. However, don't blame me for not reminding you. You're an earth immortal cultivator. Fighting with me, a celestial immortal, isn't that just courting death? The cultivator who sensed Lin Rei's presence seemed to look down on Lin Rei. He didn't even take out his weapon and directly rushed toward Lin Rei. Ha! Lin Rei sneered. He didn't expect this person to be so conceited as to rush forward to kill him. Hee, if that's the case, then don't blame me. Looking at the people charging at him, Lin Li stood in place and circulated his cultivation technique. Immortal Qi entered the flaming stream 10,000 Law's sword. A heaven-piercing light shot out from the 10,000 Law's sword, and the sword Qi also grew to an extreme. Die. With a wave of his hand, a sword that couldn't be more ordinary slashed toward the celestial immortal expert. Let's see who dies more miserably. Looking at the incoming attack, the man also operated his spiritual power. His palm formed a fist, and the fist mixed with immortal chi blasted toward Lin Rei. You're courting death. Seeing that the man was courting death, Lin Rei didn't say anything. He directly turned around, and his eyes revealed absolute confidence. Lin Rei didn't look at the man again, because he already knew the result. Others might not know, but Lin Li did. The power of the sword he had just unleashed was quite formidable. The powerful sword Qi, coupled with the power of the flaming stream myriad art sword itself, Lin Li believed that against a celestial immortal who had underestimated his opponent and was not wielding any weapon, it was an absolute suppression. His opponent had no chance of winning. Boom! Just as Lin Li was about to turn around, everyone watched with curiosity in their eyes what was about to happen next. Ah! A blood-curdling scream entered the ears of the crowd, accompanied by an unbelievable scene in front of everyone's eyes. At this time, in the central open space, the scene that everyone had imagined did not appear. Instead, what shocked them was that the man with the cultivation of a celestial immortal was directly crushed to death by an earthly immortal's casual attack. At this time, the celestial immortal man was lying in the center, with an obvious wound on his neck. Blood was still flowing out, and there were many puncture wounds all over his body. His vitality had disappeared, and he had become a cold corpse. Hiss! A cold breath resounded in the restaurant. Everyone's eyes were wide open. They didn't dare to believe the scene before them. They couldn't believe that a celestial immortal had died in the hands of someone with a lower cultivation. They couldn't accept this. At the same time, they also regretted the decision they had made before. At this moment, they seemed to believe Lin Rei's words, and they knew that it was too late. Lin Rei had returned to his seat. As for the two who had surrendered, Bai Yun and Bai Shui, they were now sitting around Lin Rei. Don't worry. Since you followed me, your lives are mine from now on. Only I, and only I, can decide your fate. Do you understand? Chapter 321. After watching the evil blood qi seal the entire capital city, Lin Rei found a place to sit down and wait for the arrival of the opportunity mentioned by the little dragon. As for what would happen to the others, Lin Rei did not care at all. At this time, the people in the capital city were in a panic. They had no way to get rid of the evil blood qi that suddenly appeared. Of course, there was no lack of people with high cultivation, but the evil blood qi was the most yin qi. Even the devil race did not dare to provoke it easily, let alone these cultivators. What should we do? Now that the evil blood qi has sealed the entire capital city, we can't send any message out at all. Moreover, looking at the speed of the evil blood qi, I believe that the evil blood qi will spread here in a few days. At that time, even if we have a magic weapon to protect us, we won't be able to hold on for more than a few days. Alas. Do you think I don't know what you said? Now, besides this method, what else can you do? We can't get out, we can only wait here. At this time, in the center of the capital city, a man and a woman were floating in the air. Looking at the evil blood qi above their heads, their faces were full of powerlessness. But looking at their clothes, it was obvious that they came from a sect and had a very high status in the capital city. Not only them, there were many people like them in the capital city. They were the proud sons and daughters of the sects and empires of the 5 continents. But so what? No one could do this kind of thing. Unless the immortal prime came in person, perhaps they could resist a little. Otherwise, everything would be in vain. The baleful blood qi grew denser and denser, and its speed increased as well. Those whose cultivation base had shrunk instantly turned into a bloody mist the moment they touched the baleful blood qi, becoming a part of it. Of course, the one who was not worried was Lin Rei. At this moment, Lin Rei was sitting in a hotel in the center of the ancient city, drinking wine and enjoying the spectacle outside. His face was relaxed and carefree, as if the matter in front of him had nothing to do with him. Evil blood qi, how can you think of it? How can the evil blood qi appear so easily? Although Lin Rei wasn't worried, this was a matter of life and death. Lin Rei closed his eyes as if he was sleeping. In fact, he had already released his divine sense. In an instant, it enveloped the entire capital city and began to investigate the source of the energy. Time passed bit by bit. Lin Rei, who had been searching aimlessly, suddenly sensed a dense energy at the bottom of the city walls. Lin Rei instantly sensed this strange phenomenon. In the blink of an eye, his divine sense arrived at the place where the energy had appeared. Linley was no stranger to this place. As soon as he arrived at the city, Linley knew that this city wasn't as simple as it seemed. Just from that terrifying pressure alone, Linley knew that the place where the energy had appeared was not too far away from where the pressure had appeared. After finding the source of the mysterious energy, Lin Rei did not hesitate. He directly drilled into the ground and went all the way down. However, the deeper he went, the more powerful the energy became. After descending for 100 meters, Lin Rei's speed slowed down. Vaguely, there seemed to be a force that was repelling him, but also wanted him to go in. Time passed. After half an hour, Lin Ray descended another 100 meters. At this moment, Lin Ray could not descend any further. It was not that Lin Ray could not descend, but that Lin Ray saw something strange. At this moment, 200 meters below the city, Linley's divine sense was focused in front of him. A heaven-shaking formation had appeared in his vision. Looking at this formation, Linley was filled with amazement. Whoa, you're so generous. You even used the blood spirit heaven-sealing formation. This must be at least an Emperor-level array master. Looking at the formation in front of him, Linley couldn't be more familiar with it. In the same formation that he had learned before, there was a template for such a formation. However, Linley's cultivation in formations was still too low at this time. He only knew the method to break it in his mind. If it was in reality, there was no way he could do it. However, Linley was still quite familiar with this large array in front of him. When he first saw this large array, Linley was curious, so he took a few more glances at it. He didn't expect to actually see it in real life today. The blood spirit heaven sealing formation was an ancient formation. Of course, the price to activate it was also very high. It required a lot of blood and spirit veins to activate it. Of course, the most important factor was the formation cultivation of the person who set it up. Cultivators who didn't know about formations would have to be at least Emperor-level array masters. Therefore, when Lin Ray saw this formation, he was already stunned. Interesting, very interesting. I didn't expect that I would encounter the crystal-clear water pavilion's fire stream 10,000 magical swords, ancient ruins, and now, I even see the blood spirit heaven sealing formation that requires at least an Emperor-level array master to set up. It seems like this time's cultivation journey is really rich. Knowing that there was no way to continue descending, Lin Ray decisively gave up and returned to his main body. Phew. Damn, I really made the right choice this time. If I can comprehend the blood spirit heaven sealing formation, I might be able to break through to a new realm in the field of formations. Lin Ray couldn't help but express his gratitude. His face was full of excitement. Lin Ray was so excited that he didn't realize that the inn was already full of people while he was daydreaming. At this moment, all of them were looking at Lin Ray as though they were looking at a fool. Hee hee. I'm afraid that these people are all fools. They are already facing a great disaster, yet they can still laugh. I'm afraid so. However, seeing how confident he is, perhaps he has a way to get out of here? In an instant, Lin Ray was pushed to the center of the storm by everyone's discussion. If the saying was right, the tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. Lin Ray's actions were clearly telling everyone to look at him. As for Lin Ray, he had already woken up from his own consciousness. Everyone's opinions and gazes were all in his eyes. Lin Ray didn't care about these. However, an interesting idea appeared in Lin Ray's mind at this moment. Hee hee, I can guarantee the safety of all of you with your cultivation bases. At this moment, Lin Ray's words ignited the hope in their hearts. What? You mean it? In an instant, everyone was stunned. Everyone thought that this Earth Immortal Realm cultivator was joking. However, the confident smile on his face made everyone believe that what he said was true. Yes, I have a way to keep you alive. However, my condition is that if you eat the elixir in my hand, I will guarantee your safety. Of course, whether you eat it or not is up to you. After all, your cultivation is not easy to come by. Chapter 322. Yes, young master. At this moment, the two women were choking with sobs as they spoke. Looking at the eyes of the two women, they were already filled with tears. Haha. Alright, let's wait here quietly. When the time comes, I'll bring you to find an opportunity. Perhaps you can use this opportunity to break through to an unimaginable realm. The more Lin Ray looked at them, the more he liked them. Of course, it was not the kind of love between a man and a woman, but Lin Rei had an inexplicable feeling of wanting to keep them for his own use. Yes, thank you, young master. Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, Bai Shui and Bai Yun nodded quickly. The tears welling up in their eyes were covered up by Lin Rei's words. System, give me all the information about them. I want to see what's so special about them that makes me want to keep them for my own use. At this moment, Lin Rei was very curious. After informing the two of them, he closed his eyes and spoke to the system in his mind. Ding dong, okay. Please wait a moment, host. Ding dong, beginning testing. A few minutes later, ding dong, testing completed. Host, please take a look. After listening to the system, Lin Rei looked over and saw Bai Yun and Bai Shui's personal information appearing before his eyes. Bai Shui, the eldest daughter of the Bai family in the southern part of the immortal world. She has passed her 100th birthday this year. 90 years ago, the Bai family was massacred by an unknown person. Now, only the two daughters of the Bai family are still alive. Their cultivation base is at the peak of the heaven immortal realm. They have the best lightning attribute, excellent bones, and excellent comprehension ability. Twin body, a physique that only appears once in 10,000 years. Bai Yun, the second daughter of the Bai family in the southern part of the immortal world. She has passed her 100th birthday this year. Twin body, a cultivation base is at the peak of the heaven immortal realm. Her cultivation base is at the peak of the heaven immortal realm. Information about the two of them appeared completely in Lin Rei's mind. When he saw this information, Lin Rei finally understood why the two of them had spoken so coldly and why their gazes were always filled with murderous intent. He had never imagined that they would encounter such a fate. However, Lin Li was very curious about the twin life physique mentioned in the information, and the fact that it only appeared once every 10,000 years. Lin Li didn't know anything about physiques. Hee, you don't understand, do you? If you have nothing to do in the future, you should read more books. Suddenly, a mocking voice rang out beside Lin Li's ear. His originally good mood was completely ruined by Xiaolong's taunts. Humph, only you know, only you know. Since you know, then hurry up and say it. Stop whetting my appetite. Lin Rei knew that since the little dragon said such words, it meant that he knew the use of the twin one. AI. The twin life body, as the name suggests, is when twins are born together and have mutually important physiques. This physique can be said to be good, but it can also be said to be bad. The most fatal point is that if one of them is resurrected, then the other cannot be resurrected and will die with the dead. What? Hearing the little dragon's explanation of the twin life body, Lin Rei knew the use of the twin life body. However, there are still many benefits. Cultivation is fast. As long as there are suitable cultivation methods and martial skills, two people with the twin life body will be very strong. They can even fight above their level and be in an invincible position. Phew. Why didn't you say so earlier? Why did you have to take such a big breath? After hearing about the power of the twin physique, Lin Li knew that if they were nurtured, they would definitely be a great help to the sect in the future. Thinking of this, Lin Li decided to help them take revenge and make them unswervingly loyal to the sect. Okay, I know. However, you have to keep an eye on them. If there are any special physiques, let me know. This way, the sect's future development will be faster. Moreover, this is a dangerous time. If you don't keep an eye on them, if something happens to me, then you will have to wait for a long time. At this time, Lin Rei's revenge heart came. He didn't want to let the little dragon off so easily. You. Okay, I'll see. The sound of surrender came out from the little dragon's mouth. In an instant, Lin Rei's mood improved a lot. His heart was also refreshed. Okay, you see. I won't talk to you anymore. I still want to see my two twin life body. In an instant, his body retreated, opened his eyes, and looked at Bai Yun and Bai Shui. Bai Yun, take out your cultivation methods. Let me see if they are suitable for you." These sudden words caused Bai Yun and Bai Yun to be stunned. However, it was only for a moment before the two of them reacted. They took out the cultivation techniques they had learned and showed them to Linley. Huh? Looking at the cultivation methods that were handed over, Lin Rei's brows furrowed deeper and deeper. It was as if he saw something bad. What's going on? This cultivation method is obviously to break up the twin life body. Why is it like this? Could it be that the person who gave them the cultivation method knew that they were twin life bodies and didn't want them to practice? Thinking of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but blurt out, "Bai Yun, this cultivation method will only harm the two of you. If you believe me, then don't practice it in the future." Lin Rei's request, although it was difficult, Bai Yun and Bai Shui, who had eaten the elixir, nodded without any hesitation. "Little dragon, don't hide it, hurry up. Since you know about the twin life body, then you must have the twin life body cultivation method. Hurry up, don't dawdle." Closing his eyes, he directly demanded the cultivation method from the little dragon. The previous restraint and other things, after the two of them had been together for such a long time, had long disappeared. "You bastard, blackmailing me again. Do you know that this cultivation method is very expensive?" The little dragon in the system, hearing Lin Rei's words, instantly exploded. In the past, Lin Rei at least respected him, but now, he directly wanted it. "Okay, don't dawdle, I will return it to you in the future." "You said that, aren't you also waiting for me to quickly cultivate to the level you want? Those who don't have a capable helper, my progress will be very slow." A threat, anyone could hear that this was a naked threat. But our system spirit, after hearing Lin Rei's words, resisted the urge to secretly beat Lin Rei up violently, and a Jin Su appeared in front of Lin Rei. "Humph, then go, this is the cultivation method most suitable for the twin life body." After speaking, the little dragon instantly disappeared, and Lin Rei did not search for the little dragon because of its disappearance. On the contrary, looking at the Jin Su in front of him, Lin Rei's face revealed a satisfied smile. The three words, twin life technique, were on the golden surface, and looking at the Jin Su, the smile on his face became even wider. Opening his eyes and looking at the people around him, Lin Rei did not pay attention to them, and with a wave of his hand, an isolation array appeared around them, enveloping Lin Rei and the other two. Those outside could not enter, but those inside could leave. "Here, this is for you, this cultivation method is suitable for you to cultivate." Seeing that the surroundings were safe, Lin Rei took out the twin life technique he got from the little dragon and placed it in front of the two of them. Thank you young master, the kindness you have shown us, even if we were to be smashed to pieces, we would still repay even a 10,000th of your kindness." Regarding the cultivation method on the table, the two sisters knew what the future would be like if they obtained it. In order to urgently obtain strength, the two of them did not reject Lin Rei's gift. Chapter 323. Alright, since you've accepted it, then you too should quickly cultivate here. Maybe I'll need you later. Looking at the two sisters, Ji Lei helplessly reminded them and didn't look at them. "Yes, young master." The two sisters obeyed Lin Rei's instructions, sat cross-legged on the spot, and began to cultivate the cultivation method that Lin Rei gave them. As for the movement, it was naturally not small. But fortunately, there was the protection of the formation, and the outside couldn't see what was going on inside. Without disturbing them, Lin Rei retreated from the formation and sat down at a table next to him. At this time, everyone was all hiding in another corner, not daring to let Lin Rei get close. However, there were still some people who regretted when they saw that Lin Rei could kill celestial immortals. Their bodies inadvertently walked toward Lin Rei. Quiet life often passed quickly. Looking at the blood-like thing outside the window approaching bit by bit, Lin Rei smiled and looked at the blood mist outside. There was no fear, only excitement. Boom! A loud noise suddenly sounded, pulling Lin Rei back from the beautiful scenery outside. He glanced at the source of the sound. 3 young women and 5 men came in from outside the door. However, among them, there were 2 people that Lin Ray knew. Actually, he only knew one of them, and he had only heard of the other person's name. Humph. Someone said that there's someone here who can protect you. Where are you? Come out quickly. This sentence was enough to prove everything. Needless to say, someone must have spread the news about him. Lin Ray didn't bother to answer their questions. At the same time, he was too lazy to talk to them. It seemed that they should be the proud sons of the sects and empires. Everyone had their eyes on the top of their heads and looked down on others. Lin Ray happened to hate this kind of people. Humph, I'm talking to you. Who can guarantee to leave here safely? Come out quickly. Don't tell me you're too pretentious and don't dare to do it. After the brain finished speaking, no one answered. It wasn't that they didn't want to, but they didn't want to offend Lin Ray again. It was because of that incident that they lost a good chance to survive. They didn't want to do it again. The first time was still fine, but with so many people ignoring him, the situation suddenly became awkward. Boom! In the blink of an eye, a terrifying aura appeared in the restaurant. The cultivators who didn't release their cultivation were all suppressed in their seats with a painful expression. I'll say it one more time. Who can leave here safely? Hurry up and tell me. If no one speaks up by the time I count to 3, don't blame me for starting a massacre. Pooh. As soon as the brain finished speaking, a long sword appeared and pierced into the body of the person beside him. His life force dissipated and the heavenly immortal expert didn't even have the strength to fight back before his soul returned to the heavens. You. The man's action instantly aroused the anger of everyone present. They were already on the verge of death, but now they were at the mercy of others. This feeling was really unbearable. Say. Senior, I know. Do I know where that person is? The sudden voice drew everyone's attention to the speaker. However, Linley was even more so. The moment he heard these words, his expression changed. He knew that today's matter was going to be troublesome. You know? When the man heard that someone knew, he asked the man excitedly. Yes. Senior, that person is over there. The body of the person who spoke trembled as he stared at Linley, who was in the corner. He pointed a finger at the unassuming Linley. Brother Lin Ray? As the man spoke, he was surprised to find that the person was Lin Ray, who had been separated from him before. Oh, as expected, people's hearts are unreliable. In the face of disaster, everyone flies away. This sentence is really true. Looking at the person who pointed at him, Lin Ray stared at him with a murderous look. He was very unhappy, but he had no choice. The world was like this. The weak were prey to the strong, and the fittest survived. You're the one who can get us out of here safely. That's right. I didn't expect the dignified how you to interrogate a person in the earthly immortal realm. I really feel ashamed for your sect. Lin Ray knew the person who spoke. He was the god-favored son of the Kunlun immortal sect and the descendant of the Eastern immortal venerable. Whether it was his background or personal strength, there was nothing to be said about him. Oh. I didn't expect that a puny earthly immortal like you would know about me. It seems that you're really not ordinary. Hao Yu was also shocked. He didn't expect that a practitioner in the earthly immortal realm would know about him in such detail. For a moment, Hao Yu was unprecedentedly interested in the man in front of him. Humph, don't talk nonsense. I do have the ability to leave here. However, for you, don't even think about it. In one sentence, he directly sealed his escape route. This was something that no one had expected. Don't, little brother. I'm Wan Yunduo of the Wanbao sect. If you can get me out of here safely today, then my Wanbao sect will definitely be grateful to you. As long as you're in trouble, my Wanbao sect will do everything we can to help you. This sudden promise caused Linley to have a good impression of this woman. Generally speaking, most of the geniuses of the sects had extremely high standards, and would never make any promises. But this woman in front of him had done so. That's right. I'm Jian Feng of the Sword Sect. As long as you save me, the secret method in the Sword Sect's hidden scriptures pavilion will be yours. As soon as the woman of the Wanbao sect finished speaking, another man came forward. He carried a long sword on his back. One could vaguely see that its quality was excellent. The man had sword-like eyebrows and starry eyes. Although he wasn't extremely beautiful, just looking at him as a whole, this man called Jian Feng was like a shocking ancient sword that had just been unsheathed. Looking at their actions, Lin Rei's good impression of them increased again. His view of them following him had also changed. Humph, isn't he just a little practitioner in the earthly immortal realm? Why talk so much nonsense? If he doesn't agree, can't you just directly extract his soul? When Hao Yu saw this scene, he said to everyone present with a face full of displeasure. Hiss, this. Hao Yu's words caused everyone present to suck in a breath of cold air. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. It was hard for them to imagine that a proud son of heaven from a reputable and righteous sect could say something even more shameless than what the demon's sect could say. Humph, in that case, there's nothing to talk about. Wan Yun Duo, Jian Feng, come here. This place is about to be engulfed by the evil blood. If some people don't want to die, quickly find a place to escape. After speaking, Lin Li turned around and revealed the secrets of his juniors to them. This was something that many people admired. But Lin Li was even more afraid. He was gambling. He was gambling on whether or not Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng's actions would be able to gain his approval. Of course, Lin Li had already prepared himself for the worst. Chapter 324. Humph, kid, you're courting death. Looking at Lin Rei's appearance, Hao Yu's dignity as an expert, as well as the dignity of his sect, seemed to have been humiliated at this moment. In an instant, he released his cultivation and blasted a palm towards Lin Rei. A huge pressure instantly came to Lin Rei's side. Lin Rei, who was originally walking forward, suddenly stopped in place, unable to take another step forward. Humph, Hao Yu, aren't you just thinking about the sect behind you? Don't think that you're the only one who has it. We're not talking about it behind our backs. I advise you to let go of this little brother so that we can still talk when we meet in the future. If not, then in the future. The moment he felt the pressure, Jian Feng took a step forward and said to Hao Yu, who was using his cultivation to suppress Lin Rei. That's right, Hao Yu. He's now a friend of my Wanbao sect. You should know that your sect buys a lot of things from my Wanbao sect every year. If this little brother's life is in any danger today, believe it or not, with just a word from me, the business between our two sects will be cancelled. In an instant, the moment Hao Yu used his cultivation to suppress Lin Rei, the 8 experts present were divided into 3 camps. Obviously, some of them chose to side with Hao Yu, some of them chose not to side with either side, and the last group was now beside Lin Rei and wanted to protect Lin Rei. Ha! Suppressed to the ground by the pressure, Lin Li smiled. He understood many things in his heart. He knew that Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng had made their decision. Although a part of it was related to his life, to Lin Li, it wasn't important. Since they were willing to use the forces behind them to protect him, Lin Li felt that they were worthy of being friends. You, very well, I'll remember today's grudge. Kid, be careful when you walk at night in the future. Don't accidentally fall to your death. Under the pressure of the two sects, Hao Yu could only choose to give up and retract his cultivation. However, in the end, he still spoke arrogantly and threatened Lin Rei. Who? The moment the pressure was withdrawn, Lin Rei's body relaxed. After letting out a sigh of relief, he smiled and said to Hao Yu behind him, Hee, that's what I wanted to tell you too. Be careful when you walk in the future. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. After saying that, Lin Ray didn't say anything else. He directly went to the two Bai sisters who were cultivating the twin life art and woke them up. You. As a true immortal, how could you endure being threatened by an earthly immortal? However, after seeing Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng's gazes, you finally held back. In the end, Yu could only suffer in silence, unable to voice out his grievances. I believe the two of you have a good understanding of the twin life incantation. Right now, the situation is dire, and it's not suitable for cultivation. So, when we reach a safe place, the two of you can go into seclusion. Lin Ray looked at the Bai sisters who had been woken up and explained the current situation to them. The two sisters listened to Lin Ray's words and agreed without hesitation. Yes, young master. Everything is up to you. After saying that, the Bai sisters stood behind Lin Ray and didn't make any sound. They looked very respectful. Suddenly, a miserable cry came from outside. When everyone heard this cry, they instantly went to the window and observed the situation outside. At this time, the evil blood qi, which they had always thought to be evil blood qi, had spread to the surroundings of the restaurant and was about to corrode the place. Miss Yunduo, Jian Feng, the two of you will be very nervous later. Don't ever leave my side, because that's the only way I can guarantee your safety. Remember, no matter what happens, don't ever leave my side. At this time, seeing that the situation was dire, Lin Ray didn't hesitate. He quickly turned around and told Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng behind him. Okay, we'll listen to you. To them, life was very precious. They didn't want to die here for no reason. Therefore, they could only accept Lin Ray's request. There was no other way. Okay, let's go. The immortal qi instantly enveloped Wan Yunduo, Jian Feng, and the Bai sisters. In an instant, they jumped out of the window. Hey, you guys. The sudden action of Lin Ray and his group puzzled the people who stayed in the restaurant. At the same time, they were very afraid. Some people even wanted to stop them. But just as they were about to stop them, they saw a very magical scene. At this time, Lin Ray and his group had already arrived at the evil blood qi. However, the moment they entered, Lin Ray activated his devouring heaven spell. He directly absorbed the surrounding evil blood qi and converted it into pure energy. He absorbed it to improve his cultivation. The moment they jumped out of the window, Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng were also very surprised. However, when they entered the evil blood qi, they found that the evil blood qi actually went around them. Suddenly, they realized that they had made the right choice. However, at this time, Lin Ray was more excited. Originally, he just wanted to give it a try. He didn't expect that the devouring heaven spell could really devour the energy of the sanguine spirit sky ceiling formation. Moreover, Lin Ray clearly felt that his cultivation was improving at an incredible speed. How is this possible? Why didn't the evil blood qi devour them? Why is this happening? At this time, Yu, who was in the restaurant, saw that Lin Ray and his group were safe and sound. His heart began to twist. Startling Dawn, who had been neutral, was also very surprised. He didn't expect that this little earthly immortal, who had piqued his curiosity, could restrain the evil blood qi. At this time, he had to treat Lin Ray seriously. No. Hurry up, everyone, let's go. The evil blood qi is coming. Everyone, run. At this time, everyone was very regretful. They regretted that they had listened to slander and didn't believe Lin Ray's words. At this time, they were facing the risk of being devoured and had to flee for their lives. Chaos. Everyone in the restaurant was in chaos. They didn't want to die here. They started to run for their lives, trying to find a safe place to hide. Startling Dawn and the others were panicking, but they weren't as panicked as those who were trying to escape. Alas, it seems that this time we can only cut off our flesh. I didn't expect that the treasure I just got from the ancestor would be wasted here. At this time, Startling Dawn, with a trace of panic, suddenly waved his hand above his head. A golden energy shield appeared above his head. As soon as the shield appeared, the panic on Startling Dawn's face disappeared in an instant. "Oh, everyone, let's part here. Since the ruins have opened, let's rely on our own abilities." Whoosh! After finishing his words, Startling Dawn instantly rushed out of the window and chased after Lin Ray. Of course, those who stayed behind were not unprepared. As the God-favored sons of various sects, if they didn't have one or two treasures on them, they would be embarrassed to call themselves God-favored sons of their sections. After Startling Dawn left, the remaining people took out their special skills and began to search for the ruins that they thought had opened. Chapter 325. Phew, we're almost there. At this time, Lin Ray, who had just come out of the restaurant, did not dare to stop and walked towards the place where his divine sense had been probing. Looking at the city tower in sight, Lin Ray's face showed a relaxed smile. Although he could devour the evil blood chi, there was a limit to it. "Oh. Brother Lin, where are you going?" After being together for so long, Wan Yun Duo, who had been following behind Linley, couldn't help but ask out of curiosity when she heard Linley's words. However, as soon as she finished asking, she regretted saying such a thing. Since he had already guaranteed their safety, there was no need to answer any of their questions. Didn't you come here to look for the ruins of the antiquity times? And I happened to come here for it. Since we're going in the same direction, so..." Looking at them, Lin Ray did not hide his destination. But after saying that, Lin Ray did not continue, because he believed that even if he did not say it, they would know what he was going to say next. "Ah. Really?" Hearing Linley's reply, Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng, who were behind him, were extremely shocked. Most people would want to monopolize such a thing, but this brain in front of them was actually willing to share it with them. This was the first time the two of them had met such a person, and they were extremely curious. I forgot to tell you that your so-called evil blood chi is actually not the real thing." Once again, the news of big breasts shocked the two. He did not expect that the so-called evil blood chi was fake. Then this is a kind of formation. It's a formation that can only be barely set up by a formation master at the royal level. Moreover, the materials used to set up this formation are very cruel. Generally, such a formation should not be allowed in the world. I didn't expect there to be such a formation here. What, a formation? Hearing Lin Ray's explanation, the two were shocked. They knew about formations, but they did not know there was such a powerful formation that could not resist genuine immortals like them. In their minds, even the Sect protection array did not have such strength. One could imagine how powerful this array was. That's right. After we enter the ruins, you must follow me closely. As for the rest, we'll discuss it when we're inside. With that said, Lin Ray concentrated on absorbing the energy in front of him. They also tactfully shut their mouths and quieted down. Time passed bit by bit, and their group quickly arrived at the city gates. Right at this moment, a voice resounded from behind them. "Wait a moment, Brother Lin." Lin Ray was familiar with this voice. After all, he had gone to the auction with him before. "Brother Startling Dawn, what can I do for you?" If it wasn't for Xiaolong's recommendation, Linley wouldn't have bothered with him. This. Brother Lin, you see, in any case, we are acquaintances. Why don't you bring me along as well? After all, it doesn't make any difference if you bring one or two. Ha ha ha. A bell-like laughter resounded. At this moment, Wan Yunduo, who had been listening to Startling Dawn, could not help but stand up. "Say, Startling Dawn, is this still you? I didn't expect our young master Startling Dawn to lower his head and beg for help." With that, Startling Dawn's cheeks flushed instantly, revealing a shy expression. "Brother Startling Dawn, it's not that I don't want to bring you along. It's just that I don't have the strength to do so. You're a genuine immortal, and I'm just an ant at the earthly immortal realm. So, let's not talk about this anymore." With that, Lin Ray ignored Startling Dawn's existence and walked step by step towards the place where he had previously explored. Startling Dawn, whose face had turned red from Linley's words, had a guilty look in his eyes. He hadn't expected that Linley would remember his words so clearly. Sigh. What's missed is missed. With that, Startling Dawn threw everything to the back of his mind and quickly stepped forward to catch up with Lin Ray. Although Lin Ray had said that he would not bring him along, he did not forbid him from following. At this moment, Startling Dawn used the 36 stratagems and the stratagem of being thick-skinned. Lin Ray did not say anything about Startling Dawn's behavior. After all, the road was to the sky and everyone should go their own way. How could he forbid others from taking this road? When they arrived at the place yesterday, the fiery stream infinite spell sword instantly appeared in his hand. "Everyone, I'll tear a hole here in a moment. Hurry up and enter. Don't fall behind." "Okay, don't worry." After listening to Lin Ray's words, in addition to the various signs that Lin Ray had shown before, they really believed him. Therefore, the moment Lin Ray spoke, Wan Yunduo and Startling Dawn agreed without saying anything. Lin Ray had guessed this result, so he did not waste any more words. He raised the infinite spell sword in his hand and directly used the level 3 Heaven's Extremity Incineration. In an instant, tens of thousands of sword chi broke out of the sword and rushed toward the ground. Boom! The moment the Heaven's Extremity touched the ground, a loud noise instantly resounded through heaven and earth. Wan Yunduo, who was following behind Lin Ray, was shocked. Oh my god, even a peak celestial immortal might not be able to produce such an attack. Yes. This is too powerful, and his sword Dao seems to be a little stronger than mine. Moreover, I can't see any grade of his sword. All these signs made them feel that this man in front of them would definitely be a person who would stir up a storm in the future. In the future, he would definitely be in existence who would be famous in the celestial realm. Hee, it seems that both of us have a good eye for talent. If we can pull him into our sect, will Father be happy? At this moment, after seeing Lin Ray's potential, Wan Yunduo and Startling Dawn began to make their own plans. Hee, it seems that it's not bad. Lin Ray didn't know what Wan Yunduo and Startling Dawn were thinking about. At this moment, Lin Ray was only thinking about the opportunity to make a breakthrough. The attack dissipated. At this moment, there was a hole in the ground. Lin Ray didn't know how deep it was, and whether there was any danger inside, Lin Ray didn't know. After all, he only wanted to see what was inside and didn't pay attention to his surroundings. Well, when we enter later, you all must be 120% vigilant at all times. The danger inside is unknown. Everything depends on your ability to adapt. Although Lin Ray knew that his cultivation was not as good as theirs, he had promised to ensure their safety. Therefore, he had to remind them one last time. Okay, we know. Don't worry. Hearing their response, Lin Ray didn't say anything else. Celestial spiritual chi enveloped them, and in a flash, they entered the hole in the ground. Startling Dawn, who was behind them, looked at the hole in the ground and smiled. She muttered in her heart, "Oh, I knew that following Lin Ray would be the right choice." Then, in a flash, Startling Dawn followed Lin Ray into the hole in the ground. Chapter 326. Boy, just you wait. If I don't kill you in this lifetime, I won't see you again. At this time, in the outskirts of the capital city, a gloomy Hao Yu was still thinking about the embarrassing and humiliating scene. This was the first time in his life that he had been humiliated like this. Moreover, he was humiliated by an earthly immortal cultivator whose cultivation was much lower than his. Ah! Brother Hao Yu. why do you need to be so angry? It's not like we won't see each other in the future. When there is no one around him, you can do whatever you want. Just as Hao Yu was venting his anger, a man next to him came forward and fanned the flames in his ears. Well. Not bad, Jiu Tianqi, I didn't expect you to have such a method. I always thought you were a very well-behaved person. Now I have to reevaluate you. Hearing Jiu Tianqi's words, the humiliation he had suffered at Lin Li's hands was thrown to the back of his mind. It was as if he had discovered a new continent, and he was filled with curiosity. In everyone's memory, Jiu Tianqi was a man who did not like to talk. Although there were many experts in his family, he never used his background to oppress others. However, Hao Yu's opinion of him had completely changed at this moment. It's inevitable that the family's disciples will go back to eat. You know the specifics. Being born in a family like ours, who needs to leave some strength as a last resort? Hearing Jiu Tianqi's words, Hao Yu's face fell. It was as if Jiu Tianqi's words had poked his weak spot. Alas. Who said it wasn't? Jiu Tianqi did not say anything else after he finished speaking. He walked forward alone. At this time, a fierce light flashed in Jiu Tianqi's eyes. Hao Yu, who was in front of him, did not notice it at all. Humph, idiot, kill. Fight. In the end, it will all be mine. At this time, all the forces were desperately looking for a way to enter the ruins. Of course, a small number of people were running around for their own safety. Lin Rei, who had entered the cave, went all the way down. He did not stop at all and went straight to the place where his divine sense had explored before. Swish. Half a day later, Lin Rei finally arrived at the strange space that his divine sense had explored before. And this place was the magic array of the Blood Spirit Heaven Sealing spell. Zhang Xian landed on the ground and looked around. At this moment, the strange space was filled with the aura of death. There was no sign of life at all. Where is this? At this moment, Wan Yunduo, who was at the back, couldn't help but ask after seeing this scene. This is the Blood Spirit Heaven Sealing Great Formation. That one sentence made Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng, who had thought that they were safe, instantly tense up. They had just returned, and their minds were sensitive as they observed their surroundings. Their bodies involuntarily went into a battle stance. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei couldn't help but sigh. People from the sect are really not ordinary. In this kind of situation, they can still maintain a fighting posture in the face of danger. I really admire them. Lin Rei's words caused Wan Yunduo's faces to blush. They immediately tried to explain themselves, but Jingshao, who had been following them all this time, had arrived. D*MN, where is this place? I didn't expect that there would be such a strange space under the capital city. At this moment, Jingshao, who had just landed on the ground, immediately observed the surrounding environment. Then, he relaxed his nerves after confirming that there was no danger. Oh. Looking at Jingshao, Lin Rei didn't say anything else. Since he was willing to follow them, then let him follow. Well, follow me closely later. Although I know the magic array here, it was, after all, created by an emperor-level array master. I can only avoid being strangled in here. Lin Rei's words were deeply imprinted in Wan Yunduo and Jian Feng's hearts. They knew that if they didn't listen to Lin Rei here, they would definitely die miserably, no matter what cultivation level they were. Okay, we know. Don't worry. After saying that, he led them directly to where the magic array was. At this time, there was no longer any red blood fog in the blood spirit sky-sealing great array. Therefore, the immortal spiritual qi that had enveloped Wan Yunduo and the others had already been withdrawn by Lin Rei. Wan Yunduo and the others, who were following closely behind Lin Rei, were not too far away. Furthermore, their speed was even slower than a snail's. Basically, it took them a few minutes or even more than 10 minutes to take a step forward. Behind him, startling dawn continued to shamelessly follow Lin Li's footsteps, one step at a time. Humph, little dragon, hurry up and wake up. This is a matter of life and death. At this time, Lin Ray, who was moving forward, knew that there was more than one way to break the blood spirit sky ceiling great array. After all, his strength was limited. The only way to be safe was to rely on the little dragon. Oh, isn't this our savior? Why, didn't you boast to them that you could guarantee their safety? Why, what are you doing now? It was always like this. Every time they came out, the little dragon would not be happy if he did not insult Lin Ray at least a few times. Listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Ray did not refute. He just rolled his eyes and let the little dragon experience it himself. Okay, little dragon, you're awesome, okay? You also know that I'm only at the peak of the heaven level array formation level. There are still 2 levels between me and an emperor level array formation. How can I really bring them out safely? In front of the little dragon, Lin Ray did not mind admitting defeat. They were already familiar with each other, so it did not matter. However, in front of outsiders, this was absolutely impossible. Humph, you only know how to say nice things. See? It's one thing now, but when I really bring you out, it'll be another in the future. After speaking, the little dragon did not say anything else. He turned around with a serious expression and looked at the shocking array in front of him. It's really a bit tricky. Your strength is too low. A part of my memory has not been unlocked. But fortunately, it's only a low-level array formation. A wave of wealth flaunting was thrown directly at Lin Ray. Listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Ray did not have a chance. After all, Lin Ray still had a little understanding of the little dragon's character. In Lin Ray's eyes, the little dragon was a person who did not wake up early without benefits. If placed in the business world, he would be a complete profiteer. Okay, stop thinking about me. Listen well, what I'm about to say next may be beneficial for you to break through the king level array formation level. Looking at Lin Ray's appearance, the little dragon was too lazy to say anything more. He directly explained the principle of the blood spirit sky ceiling array and the way to break it to Lin Ray. The so-called blood spirit sky ceiling array is actually formed by tens of thousands of small trapping arrays. However, these so-called trapping arrays are all at the king level for the current you. There will always be a formation eye in the array formation. Think about it. You can imagine the treasures in the array formation. Plus, there is the formation eye of the entire blood spirit sky ceiling array. If you can obtain the formation eye of these tens of thousands of arrays, how much would it improve the Xuanzong sect? As the saying goes, all paths lead to the same destination. Every array formation needs to be slowly comprehended. As long as you can break through the array formation realm and reach the king level, then the problem will be solved. Maybe you can even make a breakthrough? The little dragon's words were finished. However, to Lin Ray, all he knew was that this colossus was formed by tens of thousands of trapping arrays. Although the other information wasn't completely useless, it wasn't very useful. Lin Ray was very busy with breaking through to the king level array formation master. He thought about this matter all the time, but it wasn't as if he could break through on time. Lin Ray had already broken through to an unimaginable height. I say, little dragon. What's the difference between this and not saying anything? If I could break through to the king level, why would I need you? I say, can you do it? Didn't you get a primordial fruit in the mysterious heaven continent? With your current strength as a heaven rank alchemist and some special spiritual herbs, you can refine an elixir that can increase your mental strength. After eating it and comprehending the king level array formation, do you think breaking through to the king level array formation master is still a dream? Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Ray was excited. He was looking forward to breaking through to the king level array formation master, but Lin Ray was still a little reluctant to part with the primordial fruit. He knew that the wishing fruit could increase one's cultivation level. Really? Yes. Really, you don't have to try if you don't believe me. But let me tell you, the array formation here won't wait for anyone. Think about the current situation. When everyone outside comes in, the array formation won't be able to withstand it and will start. At that time, even a king-level array formation master won't be able to help. Lin Ray, who was originally hesitant, was determined to refine the elixir the moment he heard the little dragon's words. Tell me, what elixir do you want to refine? Give me the elixir formula. After making his decision, he stretched out his hand and asked the little dragon for the elixir formula. The elixir formula. There is, but you have to use your exchange points and reputation points to exchange for it. Moreover, I passed all of them. You have just enough to exchange for the elixir formula now. Lin Ray finally understood the little scheme behind the little dragon's words. It turned out that the little dragon had used his reputation points and exchange points. Heh, I knew it. How could you be so kind as to help me without asking for anything? So you were waiting for this. Lin Ray deeply understood the little dragon's shameless face. However, he could only follow the little dragon's lead at this time. It's good that you know. He didn't deny it. After hearing Lin Ray's words, the little dragon's smug face really deserved a beating. Okay, you're good. Now can you tell me what elixir can help me break through my mental strength? In the end, Lin Ray, who was dragging things on, asked the little dragon about the elixir to break through the realm. This elixir is called the Complete Spirit Elixir. However, what I want to tell you is that this elixir can only be eaten once in a person's lifetime. If you eat more, then your mental strength will not advance but regress. In the end, your mental strength will become 0. Chapter 327. Alright, I got it. I'm not stupid. I don't want to ruin my future as an array master and an alchemist. I still want to see these two bodies split into 13. Listening to the little dragon's words, although Lin Ray looked indifferent and didn't care about anything, in fact, Lin Ray had been silently engraved in his heart. It's good that you know. I don't want to think of a way for you when the time comes because there's no way. Even I, a civilization from the Hongmeng era, can't do anything. With that, the little dragon disappeared in front of Lin Ray. After a while, the little dragon reappeared with a golden policy in its hand. Here, this is the elixir formula for the Complete Spirit Pill. Remember, don't give this elixir formula to others. Otherwise, Miss will set off an irreparable storm. With that, the golden policy in its hand said to Lin Ray. In the end, it still reminded Lin Ray worriedly. Damn, I know. Time is tight and you're still wasting time here. With that, Lin Ray took the elixir formula from the little dragon's hand, then cut off the little dragon's words and disappeared. Phew. Everyone, I have an important matter to attend to. If this matter is completed, then I, Linley, am 100% confident that I will be able to bring you out of this formation and into the primordial ruins. Lin Ray was awake. He turned around and said to Wan Yunduo and the others behind him. Well, Brother Lin, you can do whatever you want. We don't mind. The sudden change made Wan Yunduo very curious, but in the end, she just said that and sat cross-legged, closing her eyes to rest. Thank you for your understanding. Seeing everyone's reaction, Lin Ray asked if it was a waste of time. He directly took out the elixir formula and began to study it seriously. Complete Spirit Pill, Peak Celestial Elixir. Requires wishing fruit, purple water vine, Bodhi leaf, Tai still water, 10,000-year stalactite. Finally, the elixir is formed. F***CK, are you trying to play me to death? Tai still water? 10,000-year stalactite? Why don't you go and rob them? Besides, I have to have it too. At this moment, Lin Ray almost fainted from happiness when he saw the ingredients on the pill formula. Lin Ray had a portion of the materials listed above. However, Lin Rei did not have the Tai still water and the 10,000-year stalactite. Moreover, these two items were extremely rare treasures of heaven and earth. F***ck, what do we do now? At this time, Lin Rei was worried. He didn't expect that after using so many reputation points and exchange points to exchange for the pill formula, he could only look at it and not do it in real time. Brother Lin, what's wrong? Could it be that you've encountered some trouble? Jian Feng's voice entered his ears. In an instant, Lin Rei opened his eyes, embarrassed to say yes to Jian Feng. Sigh. It's nothing. Right now, I really need a kind of pill. I originally wanted to refine it, but I didn't expect that this kind of pill. The materials are too demanding. I have most of them, but I'm missing the Tai still water and the 10,000-year stalactite. Hearing Jian Feng's words, Lin Rei didn't want to say at first. However, if they did have them, Lin Rei didn't mind exchanging treasures of equal value for them. Oh. 10,000-year stalactite and Tai still water? Hearing Lin Rei mention the two treasures of heaven and earth, Jian Feng's eyebrows twitched as if he had thought of something. However, his eyes showed that he was struggling. Yes, if you have them, please take them out. I'm willing to exchange treasures of equal value with you. I can even give you fairy weapons in exchange. As long as you want it, no matter if it's cultivation methods, martial arts techniques, magic weapons, pills, or formation diagrams, as long as you can name it, even if I don't have it now, I'll make it up to you in the future. Hiss. Gasps of shock could be heard coming from the mouths of several sect disciples. Their eyes were wide open, revealing looks of astonishment. They were tempted by Lin Rei's offer. At the same time, they were shocked by Lin Rei's wealth, because what Lin Rei said was something that even their parents didn't dare to say. Although this was the immortal realm, immortal items were only owned by the upper echelons and some outstanding disciples of the various sections. Of course, there were also those who were rich enough to buy immortal items. However, this was the first time Tan Mo had seen someone so casually offer to gift an immortal item. Brother Lin, you must be joking. I do have 10,000-year stalactite, but it's really precious. Jian Feng didn't hide anything. He directly took out the 10,000-year stalactite and handed it to Lin Rei. Looking at the 10,000-year stalactite before him, Lin Li did not refuse. He hurriedly accepted it and retrieved a high-grade immortal tier sword from his ring. Then, he handed it to Jian Feng and said, "Take this. Brother Jian Feng, this Duan Lang sword is yours. I have no use for it, but maybe you will be able to use it." Jian Feng thought that Lin Rei was joking. He didn't expect him to give him a high-grade fairy weapon. Jian Feng would never be able to resist a good weapon, especially a long sword. Okay, I'll accept it deferentially. As he spoke, Jian Feng took the long sword, walked to the side, and began to gently stroke Duan Lang. Jian Feng was acting as though he was holding his wife in his hands. Lin Li, seeing this, was very surprised. Brother Lin, you're so generous. I'm afraid you're the only one in the immortal realm who can give away a high-grade fairy weapon. At this time, Startling Dawn, who had been following behind, came forward and complimented Lin Rei. Of course not. This bit of ability of mine is naturally not worth mentioning in fellow Taoist Startling Dawn's eyes. Holding the stalactite in his hand, he said to Startling Dawn with a hint of complaint in his tone. Brother Lin, it was my fault. Here, take this Tai Shishui as a gift from me. Let go of the previous unpleasantness. I only hope that Brother Lin can bring me along. The moment he heard about the Tai still water, Lin Rei's eyes lit up. He didn't expect Startling Dawn to have the last ingredient to refine the full spirit pill. At this time, Lin Rei was struggling in his heart. However, reality always broke through his thoughts. In the end, Lin Rei accepted the Tai still water. However, Lin Rei didn't take it. The moment he took the Tai still water, he handed a bottle of heaven-grade healing elixir to Startling Dawn. Here, I, Lin Rei, never take other people's things for free. Although the grade of this elixir isn't good, it can still heal injuries. You. Sigh. All right. Looking at Lin Rei's posture, Startling Dawn knew that he wouldn't take the Tai still water if he didn't take it. In the end, Startling Dawn could only accept the heaven-grade elixir. I finally collected all the full spirit pills. Now the only thing to do is to take them out and break through after eating them. The moment the elixir materials were gathered, Lin Rei didn't say anything. He sat down cross-legged and the alchemy furnace appeared in the open space in front of him. Phew. It's been a long time since I refined elixirs. I'd better try other elixirs first. The materials for the full spirit pill are no joke. Every one of them is a heaven and earth treasure. Thinking about this, Lin Rei took out the materials for the heaven-grade healing elixir, the water cloud pill, and began refining. With a poof, the illusory spirit blood fire was released instantly and merged into the alchemy furnace. It began to control the alchemy furnace to refine the water cloud pill. An hour later, the elixir is done. The moment the elixir was completed, the fragrance of the elixir drifted into the mouths and noses of everyone present. This elixir? Everyone who had been cultivating, upon smelling the fragrance of the medicinal pill, opened their eyes. Searching for the fragrance of the medicinal pill, they saw Linley, who had already successfully concocted the medicinal pill. Poof, poof. Lin Rei waved his hand. The elixir in the alchemy furnace broke through the air and flew into the elixir bottle that Lin Rei had prepared in advance. Everyone present was dumbfounded. Looking at Lin Rei, they found it hard to believe that this inconspicuous earthly immortal cultivator in front of them was actually an alchemy master. Lin Rei didn't notice their gazes. At this time, Lin Rei hurriedly put the elixir into the storage ring. Then, he sat down cross-legged and began to recover his exhausted mind and spirit. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Lin Rei opened his eyes again. At this time, Lin Rei had recovered to his peak state, or even higher. Lin Rei looked at the alchemy furnace seriously without hesitation. Since the first batch of elixir was successful, there was no more pressure on him. He released the illusory spirit blood fire instantly and began to heat up the alchemy furnace. The temperature of the illusory spirit blood fire was incomparable to ordinary flames. In an instant, the alchemy furnace was successfully heated up. Then, Lin Rei began to put in the ingredients. According to the requirements of the elixir recipe, Lin Rei began to refine the ingredients carefully. Perhaps because of the importance of this elixir, Lin Rei refined it very carefully. Time passed little by little. Finally, the refining part that Lin Rei was afraid of was completed. Then, it was time for the most important part, the refining of the elixir. Let me refine it. He gathered all his mental strength and immortal chi and began to refine the elixir. This was the most important part. For Lin Rei, it was simply a torture. After smelling the fragrance of the elixir, the surrounding people, including Startling Dawn and Wan Yunduo, were no longer in the mood to cultivate. They all stared at Lin Rei with their eyes wide open. During the whole process of refining the elixir, no one dared to blink. It seems that the person we are acquainted with will probably be the most outstanding person in the history of the immortal world. Looking at Lin Rei, who was refining the elixir, Startling Dawn and the others began to plot against Lin Rei in their hearts. All kinds of thoughts crept into their minds. Time passed, bit by bit. Finally, Linley, who had been frowning, suddenly relaxed his frown. 9 Dragons Fusion Technique, refine it for me. In an instant, strange runes jumped rapidly on Lin Rei's fingers. As time passed, the speed became faster and faster. In the end, it was so fast that Startling Dawn and the others could not see it clearly. And Lin Ray's aura also withered as time passed. After an hour, a strange medicinal fragrance floated out of the alchemy furnace. The elixir is done. Boom! The alchemy furnace made a loud noise. 3 red elixirs the size of a longan flew out of the furnace and floated in front of Lin Ray. They floated in the air before Lin Ray. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.